To our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Loretta B. Torricampo, CESO 5. To our OIC Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Arturo A. Tolentino. To our CIDD Chief, Mr. Librado F. Torres. To our SGOD Chief, Dr. Mirna B. Gaza. To our Education Program Supervisors, to our Public Schools District Supervisors, to all our principals, guests, and to all the teachers from clusters 1 to 10, and those who are watching us live, a pleasant Saturday morning to all. We are very lucky today for having this 3-day district learning action cell on psychosocial support and training on spiritual, emotional, and financial wellness. Thanks to SDO Pasay through our public schools district supervisors for this engagement, which aims to validate and normalize our feelings, identify common and extreme stress reactions, recognize current needs and express needs, practice positive coping strategies to attain spiritual, emotional, and financial wellness, and increase confidence in assisting our co-teachers, learners, and families to face this new normal. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 1 of our 3-day of learning opportunity. Without much ado, please rise and join in the singing of the Philippine National Anthem, to be followed by a short prayer to be led by Mrs. Evelyn R. Ramos, PSDS Cluster 1.
Kayang magiliw, pero sa silangan ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay, lupang hinirang, duwela ng pag-ibig, sa manlulupi, di ka pasisigil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mo mukaw, ay nilagang tula at awit sa paglayang inamaan. Ang isap ng matawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdidinig, ang bituin at araw na kailan pa may di magdidilig. Lupa ng araw ng walhati pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming di kaya na pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Sandali po tayong tumahimik at damhin ang presensya ng ating Panginoon. Dakilang Ama, ang aming papurit pasasalamat ay tinataas namin sa iyo. Maraming salamat po sa araw na ito, sa pagkakataong ibinigay niyo po sa amin lahat, sa biyayang patuloy niyong pinagkakaloob, sa buhay na muli niyong pinagkatiwala sa amin. Pinasasalamatan po namin ang araw na ito, na muli kami nagkasama-sama sa isang makabuluhang pagtitipon para po maihanda namin ang aming sarili sa aming mga tungkulin. Ipagkaloob niyo po na ang lahat na ito ay magtagumpay mula sa araw na ito. Bigyan ng Banal na Espiritu Santo ng katalinuhan ang aming tagapagsalita, ang lahat ng mga guro, ang lahat ng narito at nakikinig kasama namin. Panginoong Jesucristo, humihingi po kami ng kapatawaran sa aming mga pagkakasala at pagkukulang. Lalo-lalo na sa mga pagkakataon, nakakalimot po kami sa inyong kabutihan. Kung kaya't patuloy po naming hinihiling inyong paggabay at pagpapatnubay. Turuan niyo po ang aming puso na makilala ang tunay na layunin namin mula sa araw na ito. Ipagkaloob niyo po sa amin ang mahusay na pagdedesisyon upang magawa namin ng buong husay ang aming tungkulin para sa mga bata, para sa mga Pasayenyo, at para sa bayan. Ipagkaloob niyo po ang kalusugan at iligtas sa anumang karamdaman at kapahamakan ang aming Superintendent, Dr. Loretta Victory Campo, ang lahat po ng namumuno sa SDO Pasay, gayon din po ang lahat pong kasama namin sa araw na ito, kasama ang kanilang mga mahal sa buhay. Muli, ang lahat pong ito ay tinataas namin sa banal na pangalan ng Jesucristo na aming Panginoon at Tagapagligtas. Amen.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Ramos. And now, let's see who are with us today in this engagement. May I call on Dr. Efren E. Canzana, PSDS Cluster 10, to lead us in the acknowledgement of participants. Dr. Canzana.
Thank you very much, sir. Good morning to all. I would like to greet our inspiring leaders na nandiyan po sa SDO office, SDO Pasay. I would like to acknowledge the presence of our participants from clusters 1 to 10. Most especially to the school heads who are very supportive. So for cluster 1, allow me to read the school heads of the different schools. So for cluster 1, we have Miss Mabel Salaño, Mr. Mario Indico, Mr. Leonardo Balaguer. For cluster 2, we have Mr. Noel Junio, Miss Jean Rehuso, and Mr. Romy Sukaw. For cluster 3, we have Mrs. Glenda Tabakirao, Mr. Dr. Terso V. Gali, and Miss Norma B. Hamon. For cluster 4, we have Dr. Rolando Isoriano, Mr. Reynaldo Yakit, Miss Laarni R. Alejandro. For cluster 5, we have Miss Leia Marcelo, Dr. Maria Jessica S. Magallanes, and Miss Corazon Salvador. For cluster 6, we have Mr. Rodolfo Terol, Dr. Severo Bajado, Miss Anisha Monton. For cluster 7, we have Miss Eden Diokino, Miss Maria Lisa P. Cabildo, and Miss Jenaline or Mrs. Jenaline S. Ong. For cluster 8, we have Mr. Teodoro Agapito Manaog and Miss Emilia L. Torrentino. For cluster 9, we have Mr. Peter Canon Jr., Mr. Sunny Adriano, and Miss Lovelyn Jane S. Basera. For cluster 10, we have Dr. Felina P. Patagan, yours truly, and Mr. Nonilon Moreno. Good morning po sa inyong lahat, and I will not mention anymore the list of teacher participants, but of course also I would like to acknowledge all the PSDSs of clusters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mabuhay po tayong lahat, and good morning.
Thank you very much, Dr. Canzana. At this juncture, join me in welcoming virtually the President of Public Schools District Supervisors Association, National Capital Region, and the PSDS of Cluster 9, Dr. Renato B. Mesada, for his welcome remarks.
To our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Lori Toricampo, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Arturo Tolentino, our CID Chief, Mr. Rebrado F. Torres, SGOD Chief, Dr. Merna Gasa, colleagues, school principals, fellow educators, good morning. In behalf of the Public Schools District Supervisors, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all of you who sincerely committed to this engagement to make it a success. This event would have been impossible without your support. I am very happy to see and welcome you virtually to another district learning uh, action cell. I hope that our discussion for the next 3 sessions will help us to think not only on what we are doing, but also how we are doing it, so that in the end, we will be able to achieve our goal to become spiritually, emotionally, and financially capacitated. At the outset, I wish to thank our speakers for accepting our invitation to share their expertise and experiences. I recognize that they have taken time and made the extra effort to prepare the presentations, and for this, I wish to commend them. Again, welcome and a blessed morning.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Mesada, for your warm welcome. And now, at this point, our beloved schools division superintendent, Dr. Loretta B. Torrecampo, CESA 5, will give her inspirational message. A virtual round of applause for her, please.
Wonderful day to all of the Boston Learning Action Cell. Voted strong because the 10th classers joined together to have this training titled Psychosocial Support and Training on Spiritual, Emotional, and Financial Wellness. In the LDM activity or training, one of the kindly topic is this one. We would like you to become stronger on your spiritual, on your emotional, and your as well as your financial wellness. Why emotional? You should be stable and should not be easily carried away by this pandemic. We are model to our students, so we should be strong. For financial, we do not want it to be drawn to debt. London dito, London doon. So, ayaw po namin mangyari yun. Siyempre, mahirap nga po ang buhay. So, we want to have you some information to prevent financial stress. And lastly, the most important, the spiritual, the backbone of our existence. Without His presence, we are nothing. We cannot do anything if we're not armed with spiritual enlightenment. So with this training, we hope that you can get more. You can share more to our student. And also, I would like to recognize the resource speaker. Invited pa ho ito para sa inyo. We have Dr. Roberto Castañeda. Tama po ba? Okay. We also have Mr. Romel Reyes and Mr. Wilson Delfino. Take this opportunity, be enlightened more, and be dynamic in our work, even in the pandemic time. Again, mabuhay kayong lahat.
That's inspiring indeed. Thank you very much, Mom, for your kind words of inspiration and encouragement. Maybe some of us are wondering why we're here, or why 3 days, and what's the relevance of these sessions. And to shed light with regards to the purposes of this 3-day engagement, let's all welcome the PSDS of Cluster 8, Mr. Raymond San Juan.
Isang mapagpalang umaga sa ating lahat, sa ating mga pinuno ng SDO Pasay, sa ating mga kasamahan at mga kapwa guro. In line with the implementation of RA 10533 or the Enhanced Basic Education Act, the Department of Education issued DepEd Order Number 35, Series of 2016, also known as the Learning Action Cell, as a K-12 basic education program, school-based continuing professional development strategy for the improvement of teaching and learning. Recognizing the impact of COVID-19 pandemic to a person's health and well-being, SDO Pasay, through the public schools district supervisors, decide to engage selected teachers in a 3-day learning action cell focusing on the provision of psychosocial support and training on spiritual, emotional, and financial wellness. Recognized as the foundation of coherent and prosperous society and the primary agents of change, the teachers and their well-being need to be taken care of for them to effectively and efficiently reach all learners regardless of who and where they are. This engagement aims for the teacher participants to validate and normalize their feelings, identify common and extreme stress reactions, recognize current needs, and express needs, practice positive coping strategies to attain spiritual, emotional, and financial wellness, increase confidence in assisting co-teachers, learners, and the learners' families to face the new normal, as well as responding to co-teachers, learners, and the learners' families who may need psychosocial support and training on spiritual, emotional, and financial wellness. Again, good morning.
Thank you very much, Sir San Juan. We've come to our first session today, and to introduce our resource speaker, here is Dr. Normina Haji Yunus, PSDS in charge of Cluster 8.
To our esteemed mentors of the Schools Division of Pasay City, of course, headed by our dear Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Loretta B. Torrecampo, assisted, of course, by our OIC Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Arturo A. Tolentino, to our CID Chief, Sir Librado F. Torres, to my co-educators sa mga PSDSS po natin, to our teachers, and of course, sa ating ICT officer, and pinaka-importante sa lahat, yung ating resource person for the day. A pleasant morning to each and every one of us. Today's resource person finished his degree with 3 majors in the University of Santo Tomas, achieving Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, majors in Management, Marketing, and Entrepreneurship. He was a former scholar of the Association for Overseas Technical Scholarship of Japan in Introduction to Export Business held in Hong Kong, Thailand. He also finished his postgraduate first in London Graduate School, attaining master class certificate in shipping and ports management. He also graduated his postgraduate attaining master's in maritime administration at Asian Institute of Maritime Studies, specialized in ship and shipping management, achieving Academic Excellence Award with highest distinction. He also graduated at Commonwealth University, London, attaining Doctor in Business Administration, specialized in maritime affairs. He also finished his PhD in Maritime Administration, at Asian Institute of Maritime Studies, specialized in shipping management, achieving Academic Excellence Award with highest distinction. He also finished other studies like making by the Orange County Wine Society in Costa Mesa, California, USA. He also studied to start and improve your business by the International Labor Organization. He also studied at APEC Information Technology Training course by the Japanese Chamber of Commerce and Industry of the Philippines and OVTA. Ang dami-dami po niyang mga natapos, no? Talagang napakasipag ng ating resource person for the day. Currently, he is the chairman and president of Don Roberto's Winery Corporation, the producer of the first mango wine and brewed coffee wine in the world. He is also the chairman and president of Abacus Shipping and Management Company Incorporated. He is also the chairman as well as the president of Maritime Savings Bank Corporation. He is also the chairman of Maranao Luzon Shipping Company Incorporated. Again, he is also a chairman of AA Castaneda Realty Incorporated, a vice president of Abacus Travel Incorporated, a consultant of Parola Financing Corporation, and he is also a former professor at Asian Institute of Maritime Studies Graduate School. He is also instructor at the Philippine Trade Training Center or PTCC. He is also affiliated in several associations, such as being the chairman of the board of the Innovative and Development Entrepreneurs Association Incorporated, or known as the Philippine Unique Products and Traders Association Incorporated. He was also the vice president of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated, Cavite. He is also the chairman of Imos Historical Society, the chairman of Cofradia Virgin del Camor, Imos. He's also the chairman of Cofradia de la Pasión de Jesus, or known as the PDJ, Imos. He's also the chairman of Our Lady of Pilar Parish Communications Ministry, no? Napaka-religyoso din po ng ating resource person for the day. He also had an international exposures, such as a Philippine representative of the Asian Business Forum, Asian Trade Fair 2002 held in Bangkok, Thailand. He also became the discussant of the 12th East Asian Entrepreneur Summit held in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. Napaka-talented din po ng ating discussant for the day because he was involved in music and theater, such as a former stage actor and tenor of Cultural Center of the Philippines, Metropolitan Theater of the Philippines. He was also a former actor of TV commercials, TV specials, and movies. He was also a former director and dancer of Abacus Cultural Company. He was also a former tenor and organist at the Imos Cathedral, Bukas Loob sa Diyos Community. He was also a former tenor and organist of Oasis of Love, EDSA Shrine, St. Louis Cathedral, Baguio City, and St. Joseph the Worker, Palanan, Makati City. At present, fellow educators, he is the tenor and organist at St. Peregrine Chapel, Toklong 1C, Imos, Cavite. He also received several awards such as Obrang Caviteño, Seal of Excellence Award, given by the Philippine Chamber of Commerce, Cavite. He also achieved PhilStar Award 2007 as Good Packaging Award, Pinoy's Choice Gintong Salakot Award 2006, para po ito sa kanilang Top Mango and Coffee Wine of the Year. He also received an award from General Licerio C. Topacio, Outstanding Achievement Award 2005 for his invention of mango and coffee wine. He also received 2004 Year Ender Excellence Award, Outstanding Mango and Coffee Wine of the Year. He also received Certificate of Recognition as the original wine product and contribution to the advancement of growth and prosperity in the province of Cavite. He also received Most Outstanding UST Alumni Award 2004. Another award is came from Philstar Award of 2002, and some of his international awards came from FINAT International Labeling Competition Europe, achieving Gold Award and Best in Show of 2003. He also received first place 33rd TLMI Awards of 2010. At hindi lang po nagtatapos dyan, si Sir Obi po ay isa ding author ng librong Imos, History of the Town Imos, 100 Taong Pagdiriwang, Flores de Mayo, The Three Bloody Wars and Bloodless Revolution. Very overwhelming po ang achievement ng taong ito. A very kind-hearted individual, a very humble person I've known. Fellow educators, let us all welcome one of the prominent individual in the world of business, a very workaholic individual. Please welcome Don Roberto Obi Ramos Castañeda, PhD. Sir Obi?
Good morning to all of you. Good morning. It is my pleasure to be speaking in front of all the teachers. You know, deep within my heart, if I am the President of the Philippines, one of the things that I would do first is to increase your salaries, because you are the backbone of every student, every youngster of the Philippines. Without you, our young people will not be learned, will not be taught properly. So you are the unsung heroes. Dapat lang bigyan kayo lahat ng awards. So anyway, it is a little bit difficult that we cannot see each other, but nevertheless, we will try our best. No? And I hope everybody could hear me and could see me very clearly. Our topic is more on spiritual, emotional, and financial wellness. My slides would be dealing more on the financial wellness, but I will just insert the spiritual and emotional part of it, because practically the business, it is those two, emotional and spiritual part of it, are included in the business. So anyway, let's start the ball rolling. Can you please? Yes. Now, next slide, please. That's it. Okay. Let me give you a tickler first. Some of you have families, some of you are single. Now, my question is, do you love your family? Do you love your children? Do you love yourself? Now, if so, what have you done? What have you done to them? So, why did you send your children to school? Surprisingly, even with the seafarers that I would do the briefings, you know, because our seafarers, we always have the briefings prescribed by the POEA, but I do my own special briefing because I am not interested with the technical matters, but I am interested more on the values, more on how they think, how they would go about their lives, because we care. Okay. So, one of the things that I ask is that, why did you send your children to school? You strive so hard for them to finish. And a lot of them would answer, sir, it's because, after they're done with their studies, and when we are already old, they would take care of us. They would be the one to support us. You know my answer to them? That is the most stupid answer I ever heard. Because your children are your responsibilities. It is true that you have to care for them. You have to rear them. You have to send them to school, make them finish everything. But once they're done with it, they're done with it. You know, a bird will not learn how to fly if you don't suspend the bird on air. So, I told them, it is your duty as parents, no, to take care of them. But it is never the duty of the children to support the parents when they are already old. Because that is a wrong concept. When they come back and support you, thank God. But if they don't, wala kang dapat ikasama ng loob. You have to remember that someday they will have their own families. And with their own families, they need a lot of things. They need to support their children. They need to support everything until their children also finishes school. Now, don't be a burden to them. That's what I always tell people. Don't be a burden to your children, because if you become a burden to them, you do not love them. That is the most wrong concept. However, I do not say if they come back and really take care of you, thank God, thank God. But if they don't, it is not their duty. You have to remove that in your mind. You have to remember that you must do it now. Prepare for the future. And your duty, your duty is your wife or your husband. So you have to think forward. You have to think ahead. What will happen if you grow old? Teachers, nauubos ka. Meaning, you work and work every day. And then after a while, you retire. How much are you going to get? You're going to get only so much. Would that be sufficient for you to live for the rest of your life? With the things, the price of things going up. Ang baboy nga ngayon, wala nang makabili. Nakakagulat, It's like meat, karne na ng baka. So, everything is getting to be very, very expensive. So, what do you do? What do you do? So, yung isip natin has to be corrected. There's got to be the proper mindset. Mindset is very important, because what you think is what you get, what you say is what you will be. Everything in you is about you. Don't blame anyone, not even God. Hindi mo kasalanan pinanganak kang mahirap, pero kasalanan mo pag namatay kang mahirap. Because the Lord is so good, He scatters the grace every day. Kanya-kanya na lang sistema yan. Whoever picks it up first, siyang mananalo doon. Kanya yun. Kaso, the problem is, ayaw nating pulutin. No, we still remain on our old system, and we do not want to go out of our comfort zone. Now, teachers, I would not say you're not being paid well, but I would not say you're being underpaid. So, if akong tatanungin, kulang pa. I want you to get more. I want you to get better. Okay? So, what do we do? What do we do with this matter? You have to learn financial management. In financial management, you have to learn how to plan. You have to learn how to manage your financial matters. So, financial wellness is practically attained only by having the correct financial planning. Next slide, please. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay. When we plan our finances, what do we do? When you plan your finances, it has to be realistic. Makatotohanan. Because if you plan your finances na hindi makatotohanan, hindi mo ma-attain yung dapat mo ma-attain. Kaya, is it attainable? You have to understand that when you plan, your plan must be attainable. And it must be sustainable. Kaya mong masustain. And the most important thing is that you have to use a lot of common sense. A lot of people are so bookish. They go on rules. They go on everything. But one thing they lack is the common sense. Kasi minsan, ito ang dapat. Pero yung bang nangyayari? So, kailangan may common sense. Sinabi ng huwag tatawid, tatawid pa. Nakalagay na doon, nakamamatay ang tumawid. Where is your common sense? Meron namang bridge to cross. Why do you still insist on that? So we have to have our right mindset. Sabi ko nga, what you think is what you get, what you say is what you will be. No? And coupled with it, discipline is the most important. Because when you do financial planning, you cannot attain it without proper discipline. Discipline is very, very important. So, coupled with discipline is the right attitude also. Right attitude and good discipline, you can make it. And then, is your plan implementable? Meaning, will you be able to implement it? Achievable ba? Kasi if you will make a plan which is too idealistic and not realistic, the chance that you would be able to attain it is very, very low. So, paging practical tayo, let's do things with common sense. Ano bang meron ka? Yun lang. Doon lang muna tayo magsimula. Next slide, please. Okay. So let's have a simple analysis on your or a simple financial analysis. Gawin natin simple. Huwag na natin gawing very complicated because it will be difficult. Some of you are not accountants, so you do things simply. Number one, what is your salary? Magkano bang sweldo mo? And then, magkano sweldo ng asawa mo? Or other income that you have? Pag sama-samahin mo lang yon, that is your total resources. Meaning, that is the total available money for you to use. No? And then, i-deduct mo yung lahat ng expenses mo sa bahay. Lahat ng pinagkakagastusan mo, all expenses, i-deduct mo. And then check. Check your surplus. Is it negative or positive? Kasi from there we could start. We have first to analyze what you have because you cannot go beyond. Ito nga yung problema because huwag mong isasama dyan yung inuutang mo. It's very sad. I've been a consultant and a former chairman of the Parola Financing Corporation. And I created a program for teachers. Meaning magpautang sa mga teachers na mga guro na gustong magnegosyo. The problem is, after taking the money, they did not use it for business nor anything. They use it for personal consumption and they use it to pay off their existing debts. So, utang, patong utang, what will happen? Only about 20% were able to pay and a lot of them, hirap na hirap. So I stopped the program because it's pointless. It shows that some teachers are not really ready. They may be learned and they may be good in teaching the students. Pero pagdating sa sarili nila, kapos sila. Kapos in the sense na kulang ang disiplina, kulang ang pag-iisip, kulang ang push, to have that right attitude toward money. Money is good. Don't say money is bad. No, it is good. But it is the wrong use of money that makes it bad. No. Ang pera nilalagay sa bulsa, hindi nilalagay sa utak. Kasi pag nilagay mo sa utak, ikaw ang patatabuhin ng pera. And apparently, the other side of it, money is good, but sometimes it is also, it leads you to something else. Yung pera, hindi yan dapat ang nagiging problema ng isang pamilya. A lot of families became broken because of financial matters. Hindi marunong humawak ang asawa. Now, there is such thing as we call as the knowledge, the know-how, and the instinct. If, let's say, ang asawa mo, regardless babae or lalaki, hindi marunong humawak, ikaw ang humawak. Kung sino yung nakakaalam, siya ang maghawak. No? Hindi pinag-aawayan ng pera. Yan ang pinakapangit na pag-awayan ng mag-asawa. Kasi, bakit nyo pag-aawayan na wala? Meron. Ang problema, ayaw mong hanapin. Ayaw mong gumalaw. No? Kaya nga, for me, young as I was 7 years old, when I am being asked, what would you want to be when you grow up? Hindi ko sinasabi yung courses because I want to have as much courses as I have, in which I did. Ang sinasabi ko lagi ay, Gusto kong yumaman. Ang sabi ng mga friends ng mother ko, "Napay materyoso tong anak mo." Sumasagot ako at age 7, no. Gusto kong yumaman kasi gusto kong makatulong. Ang problema kasi, ang tao, pag yumaman, naisip sarili na lang. No. In life, it is divided into 3. The first 25 years is practically the achievement years. What do you achieve? You achieve your college degree, you achieve your being a teacher, you achieve everything that is your awards, your being a doctor, and everything. The next 25 years is the acquiring years. You acquire your family, your husband, your wife, your children, your house, your car, whatever. Acquire it. The next 25 years is payback time years. Because mabait ang Diyos. Binigyan ka ng marami. Bakit ayaw mo mag-share? Share it. And by that time, after 50 years, siguro tapos na yung mga anak mo. Siguro nakaipon ka na. So, allot something for other people. Believe me, it is so good and it gives you a very good feeling when you know how to give. Because when you give, hindi siyang nakakatanggap yung binigyan mo. Hindi. Kayong nagbibigay ang nakatatanggap. Why? Para kang isang banga. You are a huge jar. You know? The Lord fills you with grace. Mabait ang Diyos. I don't care what religion you have. You know? Hindi problema ang religion because hindi ka naman tatanungin ng Diyos pag namatay ka, ano ba religion mo? No. The Lord will ask you, what have you done? So He fills you with grace. But the problem is, you maintain and retain those graces within that jar. Inako mo lahat, akin yan. Umaapaw na. Nasasayang. And so, kapag umaapaw na, bibigyan ka pa ba ng Diyos? Hindi na. Apaw na eh. So, ang anong gagawin mo? Tanggalan mo, mamigay ka para bumaba yung level ng apaw. So, habang namimigay ka, may pumapasok kasi may space para pumasok. Pag walang space, walang papasok. Believe me, walang papasok. And besides, one thing is that pag tayo'y nangangailangan, andyan si Lord. Katukan ng katuk kay Lord. Andyan yung talagang araw-gabi kinakalampag mo si Lord. Pero once you have had everything that you want, nakalimutan mo na si Lord. I mean, this is very true. Regardless of whatever religion you have, isang oras lang ang hinihingi ng Diyos sa loob ng isang linggo. Pag-araw ng linggo, ba't hindi mo magawa? Live streaming na nga lang eh. No? Hindi ka na pupunta ng simbahan, ba't hindi mo pa magawa kasi inaanto ka? Hindi ganun. Magpasalamat ka, and bang gumising ka, magsimba ka, or sumamba ka, or whatever you may call it. But then, after that, you can go back to sleep. At least nagawa mo yung para sa Diyos. Huwag kang maging maramot. Huwag kang maging maramot sa kapwa at huwag kang maging maramot sa Diyos kasi magiging maramot siya sa iyo. Although hindi maramot ang Diyos. Ang ibig kong sabihin, pag puno ka at hindi mo ipinamimigay yung umaapaw, hindi ka nabibigyan pa. Wala na lalagyan eh. So, in short, what do you do with your surplus if it is negative or positive? Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yun. What will you do? If you have a negative surplus, anong gagawin mo? Kulang. If you have a positive surplus, ano rin ang gagawin mo? Will you just save it or will you invest? Kasi okay naman pareho yan. Yung iba kasi, sabi nila, ayoko, mahirap. Ay, di kanya-kanyang buhay yan. Ayaw mo ng risk. When there is no risk, there is no glory. No? So, ayaw mong tumaya, hindi ka mananalo. Ang tanatayaan mo, loto. Yung loto, 1 in a million, 1 in a billion ang chance mo. Ba't ka doon tataya? Tumaya ka doon sa talagang sigurado ka. So, yung savings, of course, kikita, they will give you the interest, but it's going to be up to there. And ang gastos mo, pare-pareho. Constant yon. So, in short, at ang buhay mo, ikaw umiigsi ang buhay mo. Habang tumatanda ka, anong sasalo sa'yo? Huwag kang umasa sa anak mo. Hindi mo sila dapat asahan kasi may pamilya sila. Makakabigat ka sa kanila. So, gumawa ka ng paraan para sa sarili mo at sa asawa mo. Paghandaan mo ang kinabukasan mo. So, and will you invest? Saan? Paano? Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So let's ask yourself, will you be forever a teacher? Wala namang masama. Or a business investor? Mag-i-invest ka ba? Magbi-business ka ba? Or a teacher and an investor? Pwede rin naman yun. No? Pwede rin naman yun. So, the choice is yours. Sabi ko nga, on the emotional and spiritual side of it, you would say, your choice today is your tomorrow. Kasi anong pinili mo ngayong araw na to, yan ang magiging bukas mo. No? As I say, your thoughts becomes your words becomes your actions, and your actions becomes your destiny. Ang action mo, pinili mo yun. Yun ang choice mo. Yun ang bukas mo. And huwag ka magsisi ng ibang tao kasi ikaw ang pumili nun. Kahit na yung asawa mo, huwag mong sisihin. Minsan sasabihin mo, yung asawa ko ang problema eh. Kasi ganito, ganoon. Ang tanong ko, sino ba pumili dyan? Sasabihin mo, ang tanga-tanga ng asawa ko, ang gago-gago. O sino mas tanga, sino mas gago, ikaw ang pumili dyan. O dapat hindi mo pinili yan. Ngayon ka magsisisi. No, at sinumpaan mo sa hirap at ginhawa. Ay di panindigan mo, people change. Believe me, they change. And people deserves a second chance. If let's say your spouse did something wrong, huwag mong layasan. Huwag mong iwanan. May sinumpaan ka eh. Till death do you part. Now, ibang usapan kung papatayin ka, ha? Ibig sabihin, praktikalan lang tayo. Babariling ka na, haharang ka pa. May tanga ka. Di ba? Lumayo ka. That is to the extreme. But in regular matters, in regular lives, pinanindigan mo yan eh. Sinumpaan mo yan. Wala namang pumili niya, hindi ka naman pinilit dyan. Unless sabi mo, pinikot po ako. Ano pinikot? Walang such a word. Kasi ang nagpapapikot ay nagpapapikot. Hindi totoo yung pinikot ka. Gusto mo yun. Kasi kahit na sabihing pinilit ka, kung ayaw mo, kahit sa dulo ng barel, ayaw mo, regardless mamatay ka, ayaw mo. But the thing there is, you made your choice, so that is your tomorrow. Ikaw ang pumili niyan, pues panindigan mo yan. Sa harap ng Diyos, sa harap ng tao, paninindigan mo yan. Kasi may sinumpaan ka. Yun yun. Now, next slide, please. Next slide. Okay. So remember, everything starts and ends with you. Pag nakaturo ka, isang daliri nakaturo, tatlo nakabalik, isa pataas, which is for the Lord. So, mas malamang yung nakaturo sa'yo. So, everything starts and ends with you. Kung ano ka, yan ang magiging buhay mo. Kaya kailangan baguhin mo ang sarili mo. No? And sasabihin mo, ang problema, yun namang spouse ko, yung aking kabyak, yun naman ang humihigit sa akin pababa. Hinihigit ka pala pababa, di higitin mo naman pataas. Ganun lang yun. Sabi mo, paano ko hihigitin? Ang problema, binubungangaan mo ng binubungangaan. Men do not like naggers. Ladies, at least yung mga may asawa, you have to learn the proper way. You have to psychologize, no? Kaya nga meron kang subject ng psychology. Lalo mong pukpukin yan kasi ganito lang yan, ano? Kunyari yung bata, dumating, 2 anak mo. Mami, ito ng report card ko. Wow, ang galing ng panganay ko. Talaga naman ang galing-galing, honor ka pa. Very good, ang galing-galing mo. Okay. Ito naman yung pangalawa. Mami, itong card ko. Walang hiya ka? Hindi ka na pumasa kahit kailan. Napakagago mo, napakatanga mo. Ang gago-gago mo talaga, ang tanga-tanga mo. So ang sabi ng bata, ang sabi ni mami, gago, tanga-tanga. Gago, tanga-tanga. Di nagago nga na tanga pa. So, kung anong isaksak mo sa isip, yun ang lalabas doon. Diba? And when you started as a married couple, when you started your children, you're like computers. Computers, when you buy, there's nothing in it. It's the programming that helps it to provide you with all the data. Trash in, trash out. So, pag let's say in your relationship, Kasi importante ito. Sabi niya, bakit ba pati relationship mo, namin ipinakailangan mo? Kasi it has a lot of things doon sa financial matters. Kasi pag hindi kayo nagkasundo, walang meeting of minds, walang mangyayari. Pati finances niyo makakagulo-gulo. Diba? So, yun. Trash in, trash out sa computer. So, learn the proper way. Mga lalaki, never quarrel with a woman. Hindi ka mananalo dyan. I'm sure all the lady teachers would agree. Hindi ka mananalo sa babae. Maniwala ka sa akin. Laging sila ang tama, laging sila may sinasabi. Nature nila yun eh. Yun ang sinasabi ko na you have to understand nature. Mga lalaki, ano naman ang dapat mong gawin? Tumahimik ka. You know why couples quarrel? Walang nakikinig. Blah, 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 blah. Walang nakikinig. Pareho nagsasalita. Kailangan, hayaan mo munang magsalita, patapusin mo. Tapos ka na, ako naman. Mas magkakaintindihan because communication is composed of two things. The sender and the receiver, meaning the sending of the message and the receiving of message. If it is properly sent, it will be properly received. And then when it is properly received, the feedback that you get will depend on how it is received and how it is understood. Ganun lang yun. No? Kahit sa mga anak nyo, kagagalitan mo ng kagagalitan, hindi mo naman tinanong kung bakit. So, kailangan, alam mo yung basic, anong pinagmumulan. Ganun lang yun. So, everything starts and ends with you. When you don't get the desired result of the things that you do, tanungin mo muna ang sarili mo. Where did I go wrong? Because mostly, I tell you, it takes two to tango in everything. Mapa-asawa, mapa-pamilya, mapa-children or whatever. No? Yun namang mga single teachers, don't grumble about being single. Single blessedness is good. Some people are called to be married, some are not. No? But I tell you, it's never too late for anything. Kung talagang gusto mong mag-asawa, maghanap ka. The problem is, kasi Maria Clara, mahinhin. Hoy, di na uso yan. Kung gusto mo, humanap ka, may makikita ka. Di ba? Not for one thing only, but even for companionship. But some people would say, ako'y happy ng ganito. Di maigi, happy ka naman pala. So di okay lang. But the thing there is, huwag ka naman sanang maging masayang nagsosolo ka. Mamigay ka. Care for others. Think of others so that others will think of you too. Remember, single ka. Ngayon, kung ikay mag-iipon, may panggasta ka sa future. Pero paano yung emotional and spiritual portion of you? You know, it is always nice and good to be loved. For that matter, I have a policy in life. And I do this every day. And I encourage you to do it. And it will make good to you. Believe me. I need one kiss and one hug a day. Regardless kung sino ka. One kiss and one hug. Subukan yung kahit na yung anak nyo or yung pinakamagandang halikan nyo at ihag nyo, maniwala kayo sa akin and you will feel good. Yung biyenan, maniwala kayo sa akin. Kasi pag yung biyenan mo napangiti mo, happy yung buong araw mo. Pero pag yung biyenan mo, buwisit yung buong araw mo. And remember, yung biyenan, minamahal yan. Kasi kung wala yung biyenan, wala yung anak. Sabihin mo, yung biyenan ko naman, kasi pakilamera lahat and everything. May kiliti yan, hanapin mo ang kiliti. Pag nahuli mo yan, okay ka na. At hindi inaaway yan, minamahal yan. Tandaan mo, pwedeng humanap ang asawa mo ng 10 asawa. Pero yung nanay niya, tatay niya, iisa lang sa mundo. Ganon din sa iyo. So, mahalin ang biyenan. No? Let's do away with the saying na ang biyenan at manugang ay magkalabang mortal. That is stupid. Because everything starts and ends with you. Kaya ganon ang biyenan mo dahil hindi ka kamahal-mahal. Gumawa ka ng kamahal-mahal, mamahalin ka. Huwag mong sabihin na hindi, matigas talaga. Hindi. Yung banga na empty, lagyan mo ng lagyan, dadating ang panahon, aapaw yan. At pag umapaw yan, ready na siya. Everything in life must have sacrifices. Pag wala kang sakripisyo, wala. Nothing is easy in this life. No? Nothing is easy. Ngayon, kung anong isinuksok mo, siyang makukuha mo. Dumabang ka, o di pa anong nakuha mo, minura ka. Ganun lang yun, di ba? Who deserves that? Eh, ikaw ang bata eh. Ngayon, yun namang mga biyanan, may mga teacher na biyanan na, ako sinasabi ko yan, huwag tayo maging impacto sa ating mga at impacta sa ating mga manugang. Tandaan nyo, minahal yan ng anak natin. No? Nagbigay ng apo natin, nakaligayahan natin. Kahit na hindi siya kamahal-mahal, turuan mo. Ang tao naman ay natuturuan. People can change, believe me. At when you are loved, love is given back. So, I want kiss and one hug a day, and I make somebody smile a day. Kahit hindi ko kilala, masalubong ka lang, ngumiti ako, ngumiti, tama na sa akin yun. One person kailangan mapatawa ko in a day. No, kaya ako medyo baliw ako eh. Para tumawa. Pag tumawa na, happy na ako. One good deed a day. Gumawa ka ng isang hindi kinakailangang malaki. No? A simple deed. Merong natalisod, tabanan mo. Tulungan mo tumayo. Tama na 'yon. Hindi mo kinakailangan yung good deed na 'yon ay sa kakilala. No? One good deed, and then also one hug, one kiss, one smile, one laughter, one good deed a day, no? And then after that, also make somebody feel good. Make somebody feel good. Alam niyo, minsan naglalakad lang ako sa mall, no, nung pwede pa. At ngayon kasi ayoko na at nakakatakot naman. May masalubong ako, hindi ko naman kilala, matanda, maniwala kayo, ang ganda ng buhok. Totoo naman, huwag mong bulahin kasi pag binuwala mo, they know that also. Excuse me ma'am, I don't know you, but your hair looks gorgeous. Maniwala ka, kinikiliti yung matanda hanggang pagtulog nun, parang kinikilig yun. Eh, ayaw mo ba ng ganun? Na you made somebody happy? No? So everything starts and ends with you. Kung ano ka, ganun yung mangyayari sa kapaligiran mo. And when you give, it will be more on you will receive. Believe me, it goes back automatically. Next slide, please. As a business investor, be where your heart beats, as your passion will lead you to it. Kasi may nagtanong sa akin, Sir, anong magandang negosyo? Sabi ko, kung anong passion mo? Kasi siyempre, hindi mo magagawa ng ayos kung if your passion is not there. Hindi ka interested. How are you going to go into that kind of business? May nagbiro sa akin, sabi sa akin ng isang seaman. Sir, ang passion ko, yung asawa ko, di benta mo. Sabi ko, biro lang yun. Pero anong bottom line? Ang ibig kong sabihin, where your passion is, be there because that's where your heart will be. Passion mo yung asawa mo, then tanungin mo anong passion niya. Magsama kayo sa passion niya, turuan mo siya kung anong negosyo ang pwede. Because like you, teachers, no, kayo ay nagtuturo. Yung asawa niyo ay empleyado or what? One of you, no, has to go on investment. Why? Kasi para what do you call this? May sumalo. Kasi nauubos kayo pareho, and then yung pagtanda mo, may sasalo, at least yung business mo mataas na, di ba? Next slide please. Okay. What is your core competency? No? Anong ibig sabihin nito? What do you have, what can you do that others do not have and cannot do? Kasi in deciding on what kind of business you would go into, look for your core competency. Anong meron ka? Nawala yung katabi mo, wala yung kapitbahay mo, walang ibang tao, no? So, do it. That's where you put yourself. For example, I did charity on a group of nuns, congregation in Baguio City. And I taught them and I came up with a musical stage play as a vocation campaign. While doing that, I saw in their kitchen that one of the nuns was making wine. And I told the sisters, Sister, ano yan? Sabi niya, I'm making guava wine. Ang sarap. Teach me how to do that. No, we cannot teach you because this is a 100-year-old secret fruit wine making recipe handed down to us by our Belgian founders. These are native nuts. But my passion is also wine. I am not a drinker, but it's just that it's one of my passion because I love to invent things. I love to cook. I love to sing. I love to play the piano and everything. So one of my passion is I really enjoy wine. So from that, because of my persistence, again, persistence would beat anybody. Kahit na yung masipag, kung hindi naman walang persistence, talo mo yan. No? Persistence can determine your future. So in short, I was able to get the recipe. So I came up with the mango wine. When I was already going to market it, I had to look for my core competency. Anong meron ako? Nawala sila. Bakit sila bibili sa akin? This is the first mango wine in the world. And the first brewed coffee wine, because I made brewed coffee wine. I was once a coffee board member of Cavite. So to help the farmers planting coffee, I made brewed coffee wine. And happily and luckily, my mango wine won in Europe and my brewed coffee wine won in America. No? First place. So Pinoy. Ika nga, taguyod ang Pinoy. But then, bakit nila ginusto? My core competency is, it is unique. It is the only thing in the world. So when you think of a business, ano yung passion mo, but make it unique. Make the difference. Because if you are not different, kung manggagaya ka rin lang, walang mangyayari sa buhay mo. No? For example, if I ask you what is this, no? You would say, that's McDonald's. So, yung McDonald's, somebody put up a small store beside it, pinangalan ng McDonald. Where is the core competency there? Di ba? Hindi bibili sa'yo kasi ginagaya mo lang eh. Yung Jollibee, nagtayo sa tabi, Jollibee. And worse, ito totoo ha, if you go to yung where Paddy's Point was, doon sa papuntang Antipolo, merong nagtayo ng, what do you call this, ng restaurant. No? And sasabihin nila, ito yung core competency. But again, it has to be with values. Tingnan nyo, sabi niya, ang kanyang restaurant, ang pinangalan, totoo to ha, cooking ng ina mo. Hala, sabi kong ganun, ano bang restaurant yan? Cooking ng ina mo. Hindi nasiyahan, may sumunod. Ang itinayo sa tapat, cooking ng ina mo rin. Hala, sabi ko, dumami na. Hindi pa nasiyahan, may nagtayo uli. Cooking ng ina yung lahat. Di ba? Nakakatuwa lang. It's funny. But again, is that a core competency? Is that where your heart beats? Yan ba with values? Yan ba moral? I mean, you know already the meaning of it, so hindi tumagal. That's how things are when things are not done accordingly. Next slide, please. Next slide. Thank you. Come up with a good business idea. Kasi hindi ka magninegosyo, you don't go into business without searching yourself. The first is, what is your passion? What is your core competency? Then, now, think of a good business idea. Ano ba yung good business idea? Next slide, please. Next slide. The business must fit and suit you. Kailangan bagay sa iyo. If the business doesn't fit you or suit you, why go into that? Hindi mo magagampanan yun, no? For example, you are ang trabaho mo ay mekaniko. Okay, mekaniko ka. Masawa ka na sa pagme-mekaniko kasi you're underpaid. So you want to put up a business. Will you put up a salon or a beauty parlor? Bagay ba sa mekaniko yung beauty parlor? Unless otherwise, no? Ibang usapan nyo. But then, ganun ka-extreme. It must fit you and suit you. Kasi kung hindi, walang mararating. Next slide, please. Then after that, when you already have a good business idea, come up with a very good business plan. You do not go into business without a feasibility study and a plan, because the feasibility is practically the plan. Because if you just jump into business without planning, you have no direction. Wala kang kapupuntahan. Next slide, please. Your business plan must be doable and workable. Meaning, wag masyadong idealistic that you cannot even do it. It's not workable. Hindi mo kayang magawa. So that will be crazy if you insist on yeah, it's true. The business models, you get a business model, you say, to put up a store, it's like this. Yeah, it's correct. This is the most ideal thing to do. But then, with the resources that you have, with the kind of knowledge that you have right now, is it doable? Is it workable? No. So what must you do? Start small and think big. Mindset again. We go back to mindset. Start small and think big. Do not start big and then grow small. Delikado yun. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. Now, when you think of the business, you also have to think of what classification or what type of business will you be into. Will it be a single proprietorship, partnership, or corporation? Let me explain. Let me expound on that because I'm sure not everybody knows this. I-compare muna natin sa tao. When you are single, you are single. Ikaw lang yun. No? You do everything, you decide on everything, ikaw lang. When you have partnership, nag-asawa ka, you cannot decide anymore by yourself. You have to consult your partner. Dalawa na kayo. And when you have children, you have 3 children plus the parents, you become a corporation. Kasi you do not decide on anything in your life without consulting your partner and your children. So, let me go back. A single proprietorship, you register. I think right now, kasi before single proprietorship and partnership is only with DTI and the corporation is with SEC. However, now, SEC is accepting single proprietorship, partnership, and corporation. But nevertheless, to start things simple and simply, single proprietorship, you only register initially with the DTI. Mas madali. Walang maraming requirement. Now, when you are a single proprietorship, ikaw lang yun. You decide, you project, you plan, everything is you. However, when matters go wrong, halimbawa, nagkalugi-lugi ka, and you were left with all the debts, lahat ng utang, babayaran mo yun hanggang sa maubos ang properties mo. Because they will run after you up to the very small detail of your property. Hanggat hindi na babayaran yung utang mo, kukunin nila yun. They can garnish it. So that is single proprietorship. Single nga siya, pero single din ang bayaran. When you go on a partnership, pareho din ang part ng single yan. However, dalawa na kayo ngayon. Dalawa kayo ngayong hahagarin. So meaning, hati kayo sa lahat, but it will go all the way through until ma-extinguish yung babayaran mo. No? At hanggang sa, kung mabenta mo man ang bahay mo or whatever, walang pakialam yung humahabol sa'yo, but hahabulin kayong dalawa, hati kayo. In a corporation, there is what you call a stocks. In stocks, there is yung shares of stocks mo, you are only as good as that. Because the minimum number of people in a corporation is 5. And you can have more stockholders. So, ganito yan. Kunyari, nag-invest ako, 1,000 pesos ang aking shares of stock. Yun ang halaga. Pag nagkaloko-loko or any debt of the company or corporation, they can run only after you or me to the extent of 1,000 pesos. Pag nabayaran ko na si 1,000, na-extinguish na yung equivalent, tapos na. That's it. And also, you are only within the corporation. They cannot run after your private properties because they will run only after your shares of stocks. So, ganun lang yun. So, it's up to you now. Piliin mo. Will you be a single proprietor? Will you go on partnership? Or will you go on a corporation? Next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah. Remember, and this is what I always say, Always be legal. Do not operate any business which is not legal. Bakit? Mas magastos yan. Pag ikaw ay nahuli, ang laki ng multa. So be legal. Oo nga, sabi mo, babayad ako ng mayor's permit, But then, you are saved from being harassed. You are saved from bribery. Kasi pag ikaw'y nahuli, wala ka ng choice, hihingan ka na. And alam nyo naman ang takbo. Kayo nasa gobyerno, alam nyo kung anong sistema. Nakakalungkot, but you cannot do anything. And sad to say, hindi naman yung mga nasa baba, yung mga nasa taas, di ba? So yung mga nasa baba, sumusunod lang. So pag inutusan, gagawin yun. Otherwise, patanggal sa trabaho. And yan ang nakalulungkot. That is why, kaya nga sabi namin, sino may kasalanan? Pilipino din, binoto nila yan eh. Kung hindi ba nila binoto yan, di walang ganyan. But it's already in the system. I don't know how are we going to go about it. But nevertheless, regardless, sabi nga nung tatay ko nung nabubuhay, bakit mo binabayaran ng taxes, hindi mo itago? Sabi ko, alam mo, pag tayo nahuli, mas malaking problema. And magre-resort ka sa bribery, magre-resort ka sa lagay. Pag naglagay ka minsan, sunod-sunod na yan. Alam na nila sino naglalagay sa hindi. At mas malaking problema. Mas malaking, hindi naman napupunta sa Pilipino, napupunta sa bulsa nila. Ano bang sabi ng Diyos? Give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and give to the Lord what is the Lord's. So in short, ibigay mo at magbayad ka ng taxes mo. Magbayad ka ng permits mo. Kasi iyon ang para sa gobyerno, para kay Caesar. Bigay mo kay Lord, mag 10% ka. Alam niyo yung 10%, let's go spiritual this time. Itong araw yan, sabi ko, naku, ang hirap naman eh. Kasi ang laking slash ng 10%. But then, it's hard to start with. Pero pag sinimulan mo yan, makikita mo. Sabi nga tama yung sinasabing siksik, liglig, totoo yun. Magugulat ka. That is why I'll tell you a secret on how I go about my finances. No, even up to this point, I have several passbooks. One passbook for revolving, meaning yun yung aking ginagalaw. Yun yung aking panggastos and everything. One passbook for savings. Hindi ko ginagalaw yun. Pang emergency lang yun. One passbook for taxes. Kasi pagdating mo ng end of the year, magbabayad ka ng tax, hindi naman pwedeng hindi. Saan mo kukunin? Mabibigla ka. Kung monthly na amortize mo na, pinapasok mo na, meron kang pagkukunan. And then after that, whatever is the excess, pasok mo sa revolving. Then another passbook is for 10%. That is for charity. So hindi ko nararamdaman kung ako yung nagbibigay sa iba, hindi masyadong masakit kasi nandun siya, nakasaving siya. No? Another passbook for my two children. No? I mean, tigisa sila. Hindi nila alam na meron akong itinatago para sa kanila. No? Kasi yun, hindi lang sa kanila, para sa mga apo rin yun. So, ganun yun. Another passbook for business. So in short, hindi ako natitigatig sa mga gastos ko, no? Excuse me, lit may tao. So in short, yun ang magiging you have to forgive me, I'm in the office right now. So be legal, no? Be moral. Ano yung moral? Yung sinabi ko kanina na what do you call this, na yung cookie ng ina mo, cookie na ina mo rin, cookie na ina nyo lahat, is that moral? Hindi moral yun. Kasi alam mo ibig sabihin. No? So, kano? So, anyway, pasensya na kasi nasa office, may dumating. Anyway, siguro, tuloy tayo. So, be moral, no? So, in short, ibigay mo yung para sa gobyerno, ibigay mo yung para sa Diyos. No? And at the same time, huwag kang gumawa ng mga illegal na at saka yung immoral, di ba? Even in your profession. Ito totoo to, ha? May mga teachers, a few lang naman, no? Na in fact, in the school where my children studied and my sister, may nahuli doon na yung isang teacher. Nag-extort sa mga estudyante. I mean, ipapasa kita. For what? If you give me something in return. Okay? So, what makes you a real teacher in such a situation? Para bang, ano yun, ibinenta mo yung pagkaguru mo, sayang naman yung pinag-aralan mo. No? So, doon pumapasok yung, other than being legal and moral, be with values. Importante yan. Ang problema right now also, please mga teachers, ang pakiusap ko lang po sa inyo. Because the GMRC is already gone. Wala na. Tinanggal nila. Sana ibalik. No? But in your way of teaching, kasi ganito ako talaga magturo even in the seminars. When I conduct seminars, ini-inject ko at ini-insert ko lagi ang values. No? Because values are very important. Tingnan mo, no? Ito ang example ko. Sabi ng bata, "Oh, mami, how are you?" Sabi niya, "Oh, ano, kamusta ang eskwela? What's your subject matter?" "Oh, mami, tinuruan kami ng teacher namin na dapat daw magalang. Sasagot ka ng po at hindi po. Eh, natutunan mo?" "Oo." "Oh, di ba? Ano masasabi mo doon?" So, in short, even if you're teaching mathematics, geography, or whatever, nai-inject yan in between. So, nawala man ang GMRC, magtulong-tulong na tayo. I do it on the business side, you do it on the educational side. Ituro natin ang good manners and right conduct sa mga bata. Because may malaki tayong responsibilidad as teachers. We are not only the second parents, but we are also responsible for what they will be in the future. The formative years is actually from 1 to 10. So elementary yan. Yung 1 to 5, hindi pa eh. Maaaring yung 4 and 5, nursery and prep, and kindergarten. Pero yung grade 1 to grade 6, formative years yan. Whatever you inject there, yun na yun. And the test would be after 10 years. You will see na yung epekto ng natutunan nila, whatever it is, will reflect after 10 years. So, if you teach them well, they will be well. You teach them wrong, they will be wrong. And that is a big responsibility on our part. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay. Establish your vision. Okay. When you create a business, magkaroon ka ng vision. As it will tell you your direction. It is answerable by what? Meaning, ano bang nakikita mo? Ano ka? After, let's say, this number of years, yung business mo, ano yan? Anong magiging yan? So, make sure you practically know yung vision mo. What? Because that is going to be your direction. Everything that you will be toward that. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Then, after establishing your vision, establish your mission, as it will tell you the direction to your vision. It is answerable by the question, how? Meaning, ito yung pananaw ko. This is my vision. Paano ko yan mararating? Yun ang mission. Paano? How? Next slide, please. And then establish your objectives, as it will enable you to accomplish your mission. Because you have the vision, pananaw mo, ito yung how, paano. Yung paano mo, meron pa rin objectives yan. Kung paano pa uli. Paano ma-attain yung mission mo. Yun ang objectives. So your objective is toward the mission and your mission is toward the vision. Okay, next slide please. Then, you must learn how to establish your SWOT analysis. O ano ba yung SWOT analysis? You have to know your strengths and weaknesses, your opportunities and threats. Meaning, sa inyong, kunyari, establish na negosyo, kahit nasa sarili, no? Ang strength and weakness is internal. Meaning, for example, let me give you the example of the mango wine business, no, that I established. Anong strength ko as a mango wine manufacturer? My mango wine is the first in the world. It is unique. That is my strength. It is unique. Walang ibang meron. Ako lang. What is my weakness? Hindi siya kilala. Nobody has ever known what a mango wine is. And to top it all, in Europe, even in somewhere in Belgium, somewhere in the upper part of Europe, Hindi nila kilala ang mangoes. They have not seen a mango at all, not a fruit. Some of them did not see what a mango is. They only heard about it, but haven't seen a mango. So, my strength is I am unique. I'm the only one in the world. And my weakness is hindi nila kilala. Okay, that is internal. Sa loob ng business ko yon, no? Pero sa tao naman, anong strength mo? No? Anong strength mo? You are a very good teacher. You know your subject matter very well. But what is your weakness? What is your weakness? No? Siguro, hindi ka ganun ka-eloquent magsalita. So yung knowledge mo, hindi mo na i-impart masyado. So what do? You have to do something about yourself, internal. Okay? Now, opportunity and threats, you speak, this time you talk of the external, sa labas. So anong external ng mango wine? Okay? The opportunities is that kapag naibenta ko to sa labas, pag naibenta ko to sa labas, I will have the opportunity to earn profit. Bebenta ako ng malaki. Ano naman ang threats? Ano ang nakaambang takot sa akin? Gagayahin nila ako. So, pag in which right now, ang dami ko ng competitors. But it's still okay because competition, do not be afraid of competition. Competition is good. Competition is healthy. No competition, it's no good. Your business will just be like that because you'll be complacent. You will not go out of the box. You will not go out of your complacency, the comfort zones. Why? Ako lang naman eh. So, hindi mo i-improve. Okay? So, maging malinaw sana yan. Strength and weakness is practically the internal, and opportunities and threats are the externals. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide, please. Don't worry, after this, I will have an open forum. And then, once you have already everything that we have discussed, you set your goal. Setting a goal is 5, 10, 15 years. When I say 5 years, it is short term. Okay? Ano ang i-accomplish mo in 5 years? What will you be? And based on your vision and your mission and your objectives, kailangan ma-accomplish mo yung goal mo, because this is now the goal for 5 years. Then after 5 years, anong goal mo on the 10th year? Ano ka na? And then on the 15th year. And then when you finish the 15th year, you go back to year 1 again because iba na yung estado mo. Your state is already you are already on a different state and level. You start on that particular level. So even in life, you have 1 to 15. After 15, establish again your goal. 15 to 30. When you're 30 years old, establish your goal. 30 to 45. After 45, establish your goal. 45 to 60. After 60, again, establish your goal. 60 to 75. Then after 75, wala na lang. Mag-enjoy ka na lang na mag-enjoy. Sabi nila, bakit? Mamatay ka na eh. O di sige, di naman gusto ni Lord na ikaw ay maghirap sa mundo. Gusto niya masaya ka. But then again, even if you're doing these goals, you have to do it with a light heart. No? You have to do it with a very good heart. Kailangan masaya ka because if you're not happy with what you're doing, you don't do good. You don't do good. No? And on the spiritual side and inner side of it and emotional side, you have to believe in this. Kahit anong gawin mo, pag may galit ka, kahit kanino, no, regardless, kahit sino, pamilya, kaibigan, whoever, hindi ka unlad. Kasi yung anger mo will eat you up. It's like a rotten potato. Ilagay mo sa basket na potato na magaganda. Soon, the whole basket will become rotten. That anger, no, will lead you to nothing. And more so, your hatred. Tanggalin mo lahat yung hatred mo. Learn to forgive. You do not forgive, you will not be forgiven. Kaya nga dasal ka ng dasal ng Ama namin, di ba? Patawarin mo kami sa aming mga sala gaya ng pagpapatawad namin. Alam mo, pag the next time you recite the Our Father, I would like you to pause on that particular phrase. At tingnan natin, Kasi wag mo nang ituloy kung yung biyenan mo, yung asawa mo, yung kaibigan mo, yung kapatid mo, hindi mo mapatawad. And then sasabihin mo, sir, sobra naman ang ginawa niya. Sa akin may gumawa ng sobra. Hindi lang sobra, ay nako, sukdulan pa. But then, forgiveness is a decision. You have to decide. So, I started praying for it. Hindi mo naman gagawin yung decision. Forgive. Tapos. Hindi ganun yun. You pray about it. You have to decide on it, pray about it, and then slowly do it. How do you do it? Simply forgive. Forgive that person in your prayer. Forgive that person in your mind. And also forgive yourself. Kasi ka lang patawarin mo yung sarili mo for allowing such matter to happen. Pero, sir, ganun na lang yun? Hindi. Kasi meron din namang corresponding responsibility yan. Yung pinatawad mo, kailangan humingi din ng tawad. So in principle, sa Diyos, at least sinabi mo sa Diyos, pinatatawad ko na siya, wala na sa akin yan. Pero hintayin ko naman din siya humingi ng tawad. Hindi naman siya matututo kung basta ko pinatawad na hindi, or kausapin ko siya, hindi naman siya matututo kung hindi niya nalalamang mali ang ginawa niya. Diba? So, there is a prerequisite for everything. When you forgive, it doesn't follow na back to normal. No. May process. The process may take years. We do not know. But at least you have learned to forgive. Unload it. Because when you have anger, hatred, and unforgiveness, believe me, it will affect you. And when it does affect you, it will affect your family. And if it affects your family, it will affect your business. Everything starts and ends with you kung ano kaya ng negosyo mo. Kaya pag sinabi mo, yung negosyo ko'y nagkaloko-loko, kasi ikaw ay nagkakaloko-loko. Ikaw ang nagpapatakbo ba't isisisi mo sa iba? And then you will say, hindi, loko yung manager ko sino ba kumuha dyan? Di ba ikaw? O di ikaw mas loko ka? Alam mo na palang loko, ginawa mo pa. So in short, command responsibility. Everything starts and ends with you. Tandaan nyo yan. When things go wrong, ask yourself. Unahin mo yung sarili mo. Kasi ang nangyayari sa atin, when things go wrong, turo tayo ng turo. Ayaw natin isipin, may pagkakamali rin tayo. Diba? Kapag may taong inaaway ka, isipin mo ba't ka inaaway? Ang tao ba'y magagalit sa'yo na wala ikagagalit? Ano yun? Sira ulo. Iba ng usapan yun. Hindi mo na kailangan patawarin yung kaawaan mo yun. Diba? So, next slide please. Next slide. Yeah. Now, after establishing everything, now you have to determine your target market. Hindi po pwedeng magbebenta ka. Anong bibentahan mo? Lahat. Ano bang negosyo mo? Kagaya ko, no? Ang binibenta ko ay mango wine. Pwede ba ako sa toddlers? Pwede ba ako sa teenagers? Hindi pwede. You have to determine your target market. How? I will tell you. The target markets are divided into A, B, C, D, E. Meron pang ang F, pero inalis ko na yung F. Why? A, para maintindihan nyo, no? It's easier. A target market is Forbes Park, Dasmariñas Village, Urdaneta Village, San Lorenzo Village, Magallanes Village, Ayala Alabang, Alabang Hills, and the like. B, okay? B, Film Life Village, Camellia Village, ano pa ba? Springfield Village, Palm Village, things like that. No? C, poblasyon ng Imus, poblasyon ng Marikina, poblasyon ng, yung mga ganon. D, umuupa sa apartment, mga ordinary workers, people like them. E, ito yung mga beggars, ito yung mga nabubuhay naman pero nasa barong-barong, may hanap buhay siguro pero could hardly cope up. Yung F, taong grasa, wala ka nang aasahan doon, bakit mo pa ita-target market yun, di ba? So hayaan mo na lang siya. Dapat yung kawaan mo, dalhin mo sa institution kung meron ka. So, and then also from ABCDE, as you will see in my slides, may from toddler to old people. So meaning, piliin mo dyan. Sino ang target market mo dyan? Yung bang baby? Yung bang teenager? Yung bang may asawa? Yung bang matanda? Anong target market mo dyan? Yeah. So because if you do not know how to target your market, you do not know the niche or yung guwanga mo sa your portion in the pie, aba sumusunto ka sa hangin, sumusunto ka sa buwan. Ang laki ng gastos and then you spend a lot. Sayang ang marketing and promotion mo. So next slide please. Next slide please. Find your niche. Ibig sabihin, yung guwanga, saan ka sasaksak? Saan partis ka sasaksak? No? For example, I'll give you an example. Ang ganda nitong example na to. I have a friend, a young friend, very young, no? Kasi I have this group, I call it the IDEAS, Innovative Developmental Entrepreneurs Association. Kasi nga I'm an instructor of the PTTC. I met a lot of young entrepreneurs, young budding entrepreneurs trying to learn how to go into business. And then I met a lot of very rich and made already in their own rights. Ginather ko yung mga professionals na and rich and made already in their own kind of rights on their own kind of business, and these young entrepreneurs. I put them together. What happened is that the young entrepreneurs are taught by this group of professionals. So I have a group of professionals. Sabi ko, magturo naman tayo. Binigyan na tayo ng Diyos, share naman natin. So even nagwa one-on-one. As a matter of fact, I have now two doctors, young doctors, 30 years old, who comes to my office 3 times a week, and I give that time. I give them 2 hours a week, 2 hours every other day to teach them how to go into business. Kasi sabi ko, nagdo-doktor ka nga, malaki nga ang kita mo, pero at this point in time, nakakaawa namang sumingil ng sumingil. Walang pera ang tao. So magnegosyo ka at the same time. So it's doing them good. Nagninegosyo, believe me. It is in their own line, kasi nga, where your heart beats, that's where your passion is. This doctor set up a laboratory. Believe it or not, his initial investment, kumuha siya ng mga colleagues niya, ng mga doctors, they invested 17 million. Okay? In 3 months, nabawi. Sabi ko, wow, bihira yung ganyan. Why? Anong tinayo nila? Swabbing. Lahat ngayon nagpapaswab. Sabi ko, but there is a saturation point. Because after the vaccines are readily available, bababa yan. Ano ang contingency mo? What is your fallback position? Yun yun, problema. So, in short, he was able to find the niche, yung guwanga na walang naandun. Siya ang kauna-unahang nagtayo ng swabbing station. So, ang laki ng kinita. But then, hahanap ka uli ng panibagong mong niche. Kung after mag-subside yan, anong gagawin mo dyan? Hindi na pwedeng swabbing na lang ng swabbing. So, you have to turn it into another diagnostic clinic or whatever. So, ang business ganun. Continuously, you improve and then you expand. No? So, next slide please. Next slide please. Okay. Remember, when you go into business, strive for quality, not profit. Kasi ang nangyayari sa atin, baliktad. A lot of Filipino mentality is that bakit ka nagbi-business? Para kumita. Mali. Because kapag ang iyong mentality lang ay kumita, hindi ka kikita. Why? Because you're only focused on earning money. So if it is not going to earn money, kakalimutan mo na. You would even sacrifice your customer service, your customer relations. Isa-sacrifice mo even the product para lang kumita. Overprice mo siya. Bumalik ba? Hindi babalik yun kasi nakita niloko mo siya. So, you strive for quality. And when you are good, they come back. When you are of quality. Tayo namang mga Pilipino, kahit na medyo hirap tayo, naghahanap tayo ng quality. Di ba? Ganun lang yun. We want to get the worth of our money. And when you have quality, they go and buy you. And when they buy, incidentally, you get profit. Sabi nila, maliit. Ano mamay? Yung langgam nga, unti-unti naghahakot. Makakagawa ng bundok. Tingnan mo yung nuno sa punso. Yung anay, bakit nakakagawa ng bundok? Ang liliit nila. Unti-unti. So, ganun lang din yan. So, go more for quality, profit will follow. Next slide, please. Okay. Total quality, it means It has to go total quality with your product. Kailangan kalidad ang produkto mo. Your service. Kasi if it is not, let's say car wash, that's service. Kaloko-loko yung wash mo. Walang quality. Ba't babalikan ka ba? Your management. Maganda nga ang product, maganda nga ang service. Hindi naman quality ang management. Inuungasan mo yung customer. Pwede ba yun? Hindi ka mabalikan. Wala kang customer relations, hindi ka man lang umiti. Hindi mo man lang kamustahin. Di ba? And then marketing and sales. Quality in marketing and sales. Ang pagbebenta. Because yung marketing, andyan yung kasama na dyan ang advertising and promotion. So, in totality, ano ang dapat? You have to have a quality mindset. From the mindset, you have to have the quality attitude and quality discipline. As I've been telling, with the right attitude and correct discipline, everything follows. And if that is in your mindset, your product, service management, customer relations, marketing and sales, advertising and promotion will acquire quality. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. When you are good and of quality, they come. It's true. Di ba? When you are good, they come. No? O biro lang ito ha, tayo naman ay mga edukado, mga misis. You know, when you are good, your husband come. O, di ba? O, next slide, please. Okay, business protocol. Ibig sabihin, kailangan marunong ka niyan. Ano yun? Examples, proper grooming. Diyos mio, nagbebenta, ang buhok mo hindi man lang nasuklay. Di ba? Proper wardrobe. Dapat tama yung wardrobe mo. Nagbebenta ka ng, let's say nagbebenta ka ng Bible. Okay, nagbenta mo kasi yun ang negosyo mo, magbenta ng Bible. Naka-midrib ka. Okay. Di ba? Naka-flanging ka. Eh, paano naman kita paniwala ang Bible na binibenta mo sa itsura mo? Okay, neatness. Kailangan malinis ka, maligo ka. You know, this is very sad to say. Nakakatawa. I've known of several, business people who are rich, pero my God, you would not even go near that person. Kakadiri. Kasi hindi halos nabibis ng damit. Hindi mo malaman kung nagsipilyo ba o hindi. No? Cleanliness is next to godliness. No? Table manners. A lot of people, sa table manners, a lot of people do not know how to eat well. You are treating your client, you must know how to eat properly. Do not talk when your mouth is full. Do not, yung spoon and fork mo, pag natapos, a lot of people do not know that. I-close mo, pagtabihin mo sa gitna, hindi naiiwang magkahiwalay. Because even the waiters would not know if you're done or not. Okay? Your etiquette, no? Wine drinking, never mind. Hindi naman tayo gift giving. Okay, ito. This is important. In my office, especially in the two shipping companies, bawal ang regalo. I do not accept gifts, nor we do not give gifts. Okay? Ibig sabihin, ayoko ng lagay. Kasi yung lagay, it comes in different forms. Okay? And a part of our policies, pag dumating yung seafarers from abroad, bawal ang mag-blow out, bawal ang regalo. Ngayon, kung girlfriend ka or pamilya ka, fine. Kung hindi pwede. Determinate kita pag nakita ko na ikaw ay tumanggap ng regalo. Why? That is bribery in a very subtle way. Okay. Proper time, ayan. If you would notice, I always come 10 minutes ahead. Should anything go wrong, may magagawa pa ako. Like today, I checked in here siguro 20 minutes before. Kasi nga, I am not that technical, no? Because I have technical people in the office, so I'm not very well versed in the technicalities of the computer, although I know how to use the computer. So I had to call Mina and tell her, how do I get in? How everything. So as early as 10 minutes before, nakapasok na ako. Why? Para kung ano man ang maging problema, nandun na ako. Okay? Business communication. Learn how to do business communication. Ano doon? Yung mga letters ninyo, learn how to write well. It doesn't follow that when you speak well, you write well. No, these are two different things. You even go to America, and you will see that the Americans, they're very, very poor in letter writing, but they speak English. Why? Because these are two different things. Iba ang isusulat, iba ang nagsasalita. Telephone etiquettes. Okay, do you know how to answer the phone? Pag-answer mo, hello, sino ka? Tama ba yun? No. Hello, Don Roberto Swindle Corporation. This is OB Castañeda. May notes on the line, please. Identify yourself. Hindi yung sino ka, ano gusto mo. That's not the way, because the manner you answer the phone gives an impression of what kind of a company you have. Okay? And more so, yung sino ka lang mo? Nandali. Galit pa. Nilapag. Yung telepono nilapag sa tabi ng radio, hapon, alas 3, merong maalaala mo kaya. O sabi sa radio, sasampalin kita. Ito ka, gago ka, pak, pak, pak. Diyos mio. Would you let your customer hear those things? No? So, you have to be very, very conscious. Plus, ito pa, this is very true. Hello, yes. Sandali. Hoy, papel, akin na papel. Ballpen. Nangyayari yan. Why don't you have a piece of paper and a ballpen beside your phone? Or bring it with you. So that should anything happen, you do not shout anymore, hindi ka natataranta. At saka it's very unprofessional. Cell phone. You know, when you're talking with someone, shut down your cell phone and put it in a silent mode. Hindi yung cellphone ka ng cellphone, pindot ka ng pindot, may kausap kang kanegosyo. Nakikita nila yung kabastusan yun. No? And learn how to send messages in the cell phones accordingly. No? And use also even emails, email etiquettes. No? Use only emails for the office for business. If you want some personal matters, send it through the personal email. I'll give you an example. I have a friend who is very close to the secretary of the other company. Talagang close sila. They were friends since they were in high school. So, magbibiroan sila. But little did they know na yung secretary na the computers were hooked up. Nakahook yan sa buong opisina. Sinend niya yung message. At the end of the message, biniro niya. Maligo ka mamaya, O di na chismis pa sila. So, personal things, even jokes, be careful. Correspondences, how to write the letter. Business greetings. How do you give your calling cards? You must have a calling card when you have a business, no matter how small. Because that is you. It represents you. No? And then, how you conversation, proper listening. This is the most important. When you are in business, listen. Listen to your customers. Listen to the people whom you are selling. The best seller and the best salesperson is the person who is able to sell without even talking. If you can sell without talking, you're very good. Let your customer talk so you know better what they want. Because there are customers na ayaw sabihin ko anong gusto. Look at the twitches in the faces of the masses in their faces. Let them talk so that you may know. If you don't listen, you do not know. You do not learn. You do not sell. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. Now, let us learn from Noah's Ark. Siguro naman alam niyo si Noah sa Bible. Now, let us learn from him. Di ba si Noah yung nag-build ng ark bago nagbaha ang buong mundo? Next slide, please. Anong learning? Number 1, be there. Don't miss the boat. Pag nagnegosyo ka, you have to be there. Don't miss the boat. Kasi pag hindi ka sumakay dun sa boat, maiwan ka, malulunod ka. So, in business, be there. And your business has to be there where it should be. Okay? So, in short, for example, kailangan mo mag-trade fair, be there. Kailangan mo mag-promote, be there. Why? Pag hindi mo pin-promote, hindi makikilala. Maiwan ka. Next slide, please. Keep in mind that we are all in the same boat. What does this mean? It means may competitor ka. Everybody in the business or the same business or similar business are doing the same as you are doing. So ano na ngayon ang laban mo? Pagandahang lalaki at pagandahang babae na lang. Diba? You should be able to make the difference. But always bear in mind, may competitor ka. But competitors are not bad, they are good. To have competitors is good. Okay, next slide please. Forecast and plan. The boat was built when it was not raining. So in short, you must learn to forecast. You must learn to plan. You must learn to project your business. No, hindi naman tinayo ni Noah yung barko when umuulan na. Hindi eh. Tinayo niya yung barko nang hindi pa umuulan, kaya nga pinagtatawa na siya. Saan mo dadalhin yan? Hindi naman, wala namang hindi mo kailangan yan. So, meaning, you have to learn how to project so that when the flood comes, alam mong gagawin mo. In business, it's the same. Because every day is not practically a good day. There are days that will be bad in business. So, kaya niyang pandemic na yan. Ang ganda-ganda ng negosyo, nag-restaurant ka, ang ganda-ganda ng iyong tindahan. Biglang nag-pandemic, nag-lockdown. Wala sa forecast mo yan. Paano ka? Diba? So, in short, kung meron ka sanang forecast at nagplano ka at may alternative plan ka, may magagawa ka sana. Eh hindi eh. Nagsara ka. Talo. Next slide please. Next slide please. Next slide please. Okay. Be physically and mentally fit. You don't know what is yet to come. You know, when you are doing business, even if you are just simply teaching in the classroom, you have to be physically and mentally fit. Why? Kung may sakit ka, unang-una makahahawa ka pa. Pangalawa, how do you expect that your students would learn properly when you are so lousy? How would you expect that your business would be run accordingly when you are sick? Hindi ka makabangon. And you are not mentally fit. Meaning, you have to update. You have to learn. You have to always, like this, what you're doing is good. Meron kayong seminars, no? Teachers, especially your teaching, mabilis ang change in education. During our days, di wala ngang cellphone eh. Beeper pa lang. O, di wala pa ng beeper, inabot ko yung walkie-talkie pa. No? So, nagigess nyo na kung nung edad ko, but I don't look like one. But anyway, so, in short, mabilis. Even cellphone right now, yung lumabas this week, next week iba na. Next week iba na. So, kailangan mag-update ka. That's the right word. You must be updated. Updated in your courses, updated in your career, updated in your profession, updated in your business. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. Listen to critics but get only what is relevant. Focus on the job to be done. Ang problema, when you are being criticized, most of the time, the Filipinos are like that, ayaw nang kinikriticize, nagagalit. Hindi. Hindi kagaya ng mga Americans, bluntly they will tell you, but they don't mean anything. Ibig sabihin, they just meant well. So, bakit ka magagalit ay makabubuti yung sa'yo? If let's say they criticize your product, they criticize how the way you teach. They criticize the way you explain things to the students. Somehow, at the back of it, there is some truth. Kung merong usok, may apoy. Tandaan nyo yan. So, if, let's say, in your business, kinikriticize ka, sinasabing kulang sa ganito, kulang sa ganon. For example, a restaurant, sasabihin, ang specialty ko adobo, masyado namang maalat. Ay, hindi magagalit ka pa. Bakit hindi mo pakinggan? Why don't you listen? Criticisms are good because they are for your improvement, no? And focus on the job. Meaning, if the criticisms are not true, then just ignore it. But somehow, still verify and see. And then focus on the job to be done. Ano bang dapat mong gawin? Next slide, please. Build on high ground. If you notice, Noah's Ark was not built along the, on the seashore. No. Ibinuild niya ang ark on top of the mountain. Bakit? Pinagtawanan nga siya, ano to, sira ulo. He built an ark on top of a mountain? For what? No? Build on a high ground. Anong psychology niyan? No? Anong psychology niyan? That is being prepared. And that is having the right projection. Because if he build it beside the seashore, pag ulan at pagbaha, ang haba ng panahon na siya ay magfo-float. You could just imagine kung you'll be floating, hindi nyo alam kung paano ang barko pag yan ay inaabot ng bagyo. Mataas pa sa building, hindi bahay, building ang waves. Eh di hilong-hilo ka dyan. So if you build on a high ground, meaning mas shorter yung ano mo, mas shorter yung kanyang magiging dilemma, no? Plus building on a high ground, meaning mas stable ka. Okay? Next slide please. For safety, go in pairs. What do you mean by that? In your business, don't say sole proprietorship, ako lang, ako. No. Have somebody whom you could consult. Have somebody who could give you a peace of mind. And when you go also in pairs, it means have an alternative. Have a second plan. Because if your first plan would not work out, you still have a fallback position, your second plan. So everything you go in pairs, in terms of plans, in terms of people, in terms of everything. Next slide, please. Speed is not always an advantage. The turtles were on board with horses. Tama naman. Yung mga pagong, nakapasok din ng ark, kasabay ng mga kabayo. It took them some time, but at least they were there. So, meaning, in business, speed is not always the question. No. There are some businesses that you have to hurry up. Why? Kasi mawawala ang customer. But there are some businesses that you have to do it slow. Slow but sure. So that you are also there. And when you're there, you're more sturdy, you're more stable. Why? Sigurado eh. Less mistake, less expense. Okay, next slide please. When you are stressed, float for a while. You know, problems will always be there. Problems will always be a problem. But there, please bear in mind, when there is a problem, there is a solution. When there is no solution, there is no problem. Believe me. Eh wala pa ng solusyon, ba't mo pinoproblema? Diba? And when there is already a solution, ba't mo papoproblemahin? Kasi minsan tayo ganyan sa bahay. Ginawa na ng asawa ng solusyon, namumroblema pa. Ginawa na nga ng solusyon eh. Bakit may stress ka? Pag na-stress ka, atakihin ka. Pag inatake ka, mamatay ka. O di natuwa yung asawa mo, napalitan ka. So in short, even in business, hindi ka pwedeng ma-stress. Because when you're stressed, one, you don't decide well. You don't think properly. So your decisions may neither be right or wrong. Kasi stressed ka. So, what did Noah do? When the storm was at its peak, he just rested and float. He waited. Walang masama sa waiting time. No? Basta may plano ka. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. The ark was built by an amateur and Titanic by professionals. Eh, di ba nga totoo? Amateur yung nag-build ng si Noah, hindi naman marunong, hindi nga arkitekto yun. Pero yung Titanic, kita mo mga engineers, bakit si Noah nag-float, yung Titanic lumubog? Okay? So in short, it is not always necessary na ikaw ay isang magaling para maging successful. Because everything in life could be learned. Everything in life, could be studied. No? But then again, sabi nga, it is always good to be learned. But when you're learned, it doesn't follow that you are educated. And also, while you are an educated person, it doesn't follow when you are cultured. You must have it all. Knowledge is good. Knowledge is power. But then again, at the back of knowledge is wisdom. That is the backbone of knowledge. Without wisdom, your knowledge is simply just knowledge and nothing else. Next slide, please. At the end of every storm is a rainbow. At the end of the rainbow is a pot of gold. What does this mean? Your perseverance, yung tiyaga mo, yung pagpupursigi mo, yung hirap mo, everything, pagtiis ka lang, ginhawa ang darating. Ma-award ka. You know, the Lord will award you, your business will give you rewards, your family will give you rewards because they will love you more for what you've done. And you are able to leave a legacy. That is more important. When you are about to go, don't just go. Leave a legacy so that they will remember you. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide, please. Well, you say it this way. The Lord makes all things possible. Nothing is impossible. Determination turns impossible to impossible. This is one of my philosophy. I put a slash between M and P, the impossible becomes impossible. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Thank you. Yun na pala yun. Okay, so we now go on the open forum. Okay, ang tagal ko na. 1 and 20 minutes. Hour 20 minutes. So the rest, I can entertain questions. Mr. Yes. Question from the audience. Ano po ang inyong katanungan? Sasagutin ko po to the best of my ability. Pag hindi ko masagot, hahanapin ko po yung sagot, babalikan ko kayo. Pwede po tayo magtanong from business hanggang personal. Pwede po tayo, nagka-counseling din ako. Yes, Irene Bernardino. Di tayo pwedeng mas stress. Dapat physically fit at mentally fit para di tayo mapilitan ng mga palitan. Tumpa, tama ka dyan. Di tayo pwedeng mas stress. Dapat physically fit at mentally fit. Para di tayo mapalitan ng asawa natin. Tumpa. Diba? Anong gusto ko sa'yo? May sense of humor. Lahat ng bagay may kakambal sa buhay. Kung may sanhi, may bunga. Keep moving. O, sabi ni Miss Evangelica Goylan. Tumpa again. Ang mga teacher talaga magagaling. More question? Well explained our topic with example pa. Okay, Miss Bahado. Sana tanong para at least ano po kung talaga naiintindihan o hindi. Anything under the sun, business, non-business, no? Kung ba itanong sa akin yung tungkol sa kapitbahay mo.
Rick, are there any questions there or queries from our participants?
Anything under the sun, business, non-business, itanong sa akin yung tungkol sa kapitbahay mo.
Any question for queries? Questions there or queries from our participants?
Okay, from Mr. Emilio B. Most of the teachers now go into networking. Any inputs from you, sir? Okay. Most of the teachers now go into networking. Ayos naman yan. No? It's just a matter of, ganito lang. No? Everybody now is doing networking. That is a fact. And wala tayong magagawa because that is what is being asked. No? So everybody is networking. Ang tanong lang dyan is this. How do you make the difference? Hindi kasi ako makakasagot niyan, kundi sarili mo rin. How do you make the difference? Paano ka magiging kakaiba dun sa iba? Because if you are different, they will come to you. They will definitely look for you. So yun lang yun. Next question, please. You said from Mr. Jorge Pardinas, you said a while ago that we can be both teacher and a businessman. But how can we be in our profession but at the same time be in our business as well? Okay. Iho, do you believe in the kasi hindi ka naman nagtuturo maghapon. 'Di ba? May time ka rin naman sa evening. May time ka rin naman in the morning. So, do you believe in the power of delegation, empowerment? If you cannot do it alone, get somebody. No? Because eventually, pag lumaki yung business mo, kukuha ka rin ng someone who could be your help. No? Kumbaga sa ano lang yan strategy lang yan, at saka kung paano diskarte. That's the right word, diskarte. Paano mo maisisingit? You know, the power of the cell phone. Even if you are in school, during breaks, you can monitor. And there are businesses na hindi naman kinakailangan nandun ka. So it depends. It depends. Kaya diskarte mo yan kung paano. But the very first thing for you to decide is, anong business? And then from there, saka tayo gagawa ng format ng kasi mahirap na una yung diskarte na wala yung business. Eh, nung di-diskarte ito, wala yung business. So, business mo yan. Okay, next.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Castañeda. And Sir George, do you still have other queries there? From
Mr.
Sir Lawrence Puno.
Yeah. Nako, si
Sir,
Mr.
what do you
Lawrence,
suggest?
kapatid ko siya, kapatid ko. Oh. Biro na nga. Sir, what do you suggest to start a business? Alam mo, Mr. Lawrence Puno, ang suggestion ko is start from where your passion is. Ano ba yung gusto mong gawin? Kasi kung magugulat ka, kung ano yung, I'll give you an example. I have a friend, sabi niya ganito. Sabi ko, yung asawa niya is earning, at the time, during the 1980s, earning 200,000 already at a month because he is the area the supervisor of Mead Johnson. So, imagine mo, Mead Johnson siya. Siya nasa bahay lang. Sabi ko, alam mo, wala kang ginagawa. Galaga ka lang ng mga anak mo. Eh, napasok naman yan. Nakatunganga ka lang sa bahay. Oo nga, naglilinis ka. May katulong ka naman. But the thing there is, yung profesyon ng asawa mo ay ingrato. Anong ibig mo sabihin? In the business, in the Philippine scenario, pag wala ka, gwapo yung asawa niya, pero pag umidad ka na, yung mga nasa sales, sinisibak na yan. Tinatanggal na yan. Kasi papalitan ng mas bata. Ihintay mo ba mapapalitan yung asawa mo? Ano gagawin mo? Dito nga kayo pareho. Sabi, anong business ang gagawin ko? Ano bang hilig mo? Mahilig ako sa bulaklak. O mahilig ka pala sa bulaklak. Eh di magbulaklak tayo. Sabi niya gano'n, paano? Mag-aral muna tayo ng floral arrangement. Alam niyo, sinamahan ko mag-aral ng floral arrangement yon. Nagtataka sila kasi nag-aaral ng floral arrangement, not for me but for my friend. Sinamahan ko. O di aral. Natuto ko magsaksak ng bulaklak. O sabi niya, eh di gumawa ka ngayon ng mga pangpatay, pang lahat. Yung mga pang birthday. Eh sino kliyente ko? Ako muna rin. So yung company namin ang umu-order sa kanya. Ginagawa niya sa garahe. And then it started that way. Lumaki. Right now, she has 60 people with 30 delivery vans. And siya yung nagde-dress ng Shangri-La at Manila Hotel. O ano pa gusto nyo? Nakabili ng bahay na milyon-milyon ng halaga. So tatanungin mo kung anong business. Tanungin mo ang sarili mo, anong gusto mo, anong hilig mo. Biro ko nga doon sa isang seaman, di ba sabi niya, sir, ang passion ko at hilig ko yung asawa ko, di benta natin yung asawa mo, tingnan natin kung anong mangyayari. Hindi naman ay biro, pero ibig sabihin, doon mo kukunin yun. Okay, I hope I answered your question.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Castañeda. We still have other questions, Sir Eric?
Go ahead.
Oh, from Miss Tracy Bruno. 10% for God
is tithing. Is doing charity included? Ganito lang yan. No? Wala namang sinabi ang Diyos na talagang eksaktong yung 10% na ibigay mo sa Pwede mo hati-hatiin yan. As a matter of fact, dito magugulat kayo. Kasama sa tithing, halimbawa, although ako hindi ko pinapractice yun, pero pwede, no? Kunyari, magsisimba kayo ng pamilya nyo. I mean, on a normal situation, Magsisimba kayo ng pamilya mo kasama mo mga anak mo. After the mass, i-blow out mo sila. Tinuturuan mo silang magmisa, tinuturuan mo silang lumapit sa Diyos. Yung kakainin nyo, pwede mo rin i-ano doon. Pwede mo i-blow out sila coming from that. Because hindi naman sinabi ng Diyos na ang tithing, bibigay mo ng dire-diretso lang. That is charity. Charity toward your family. And remember, charity begins at home. Pero hindi ko naman sinabing all charity goes to your home. No. Magbigay ka sa iba. Magbigay ka sa simbahan. Magbigay ka sa nangangailangan. At minsan, alam mo, nakaka-guilty. Kasi yung mga nanghihingi sa sasakyan, katok-katok-katok. No? Pag nakita kong mga bata, pinipikit ko ang mata ko. Bakit? Ginagamit nila yung bata. Pero pag nakita ko matanda, regardless, naabutan ko na. Kasi kung hindi, masakit lang sa loob. Pangalawa, kung may niloloko nyo, alam na ng Diyos na nagbigay ako. O, ganun na lang. Actually, yung mga bata, pinag-uwi ko. Kasi sabihin ko, umuwi kayo. Doon kayo sa magulang nyo. Yung magulang nyo magtrabaho, hindi kayo.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll read another question from the comments section. Sir Eric. Okay, from Miss Yasmin Felix, sir. Paano po ba hindi ma-stress if you're in a stressful situation like womanizing partner? Wow.
Okay, my dear. Ganda ng tanong mo. Ang tanong ko, ba't ka na-stress? Sino bang nauubos? Di ba siya, hindi naman ikaw? Siya naman ang asawa mo, sa iyo umuuwi. Kaya mo siya, problema niya yon. Sagutin niya sa Diyos yon. Sagutin niya sa Panginoon yon. At pag lumaki yung mga anak mo, mahihiya siya. At kung hindi man siya mahiya, bahala siya sa buhay niya. Diba? Basta gawin mo yung partis mo. Hanggat hindi ka sinasaktan, hindi ka ginagawa ng kahit ano, tumahimik ka lang. Magdasal ka. Ibigay mo sa Diyos ang problema mo. Ang Diyos ang nagbigay, ang Diyos ang kukuha. Maniwala ka. Humanizing. Alam mo yung asawa mo, may problema yan, kaya nag-humanize yan. Ang unang tanong ko, kamagagalit ha, unang tanong ko, harap ka sa salamin. Harap ka, sabihin mo, bakit nambababa yung asawa ko? Baka naman nagkukulang ka. Huwag ka magkukulang. Ibigay mo yung dapat. Sabihin mo, hindi, binigay ko naman lahat eh. Di may sakit yung asawa mo. Anong sakit niya? Utak. Hindi siya mapirmi sa isa eh. Ibig sabihin, mayroong psychological problem. Yung bang may problema, kinagagalitan, inaaway, hindi, kinaawaan. And ang sistema dyan, do not nag your husband. Lalong mambababa, binibigyan mo siya ng rason. Bakit hindi yung, alam mong galing doon sa kabila? Pag uwi ng bahay, huwag mong tatanong, saan ka nang galing? Anong ginawa mo? Hindi ganun. Love, kumain ka na ba? Yan. Pag-guiltyhin mo. Kung hindi man siya mag-guilty, bahala siya sa buhay niya. Di ba? Basta at least ikaw, okay ka. Kung may stressin yung sarili mo, ikaw ang mauubos. Sabi ko nga sa'yo, if he is womanizing, nai-stress ka, atakihin ka, inatake ka, mamamatay ka, yun ang gusto niya para mapalitan ka. O bakit ganun? Di siya ang, alam mo yung taong nagagal, ako ganito iha, no? Pag inaaway mo ako, ngingitian kita. Kasi pag ako yung ngumiti, nagagalit ka. Pag nagalit ka, atakihin ka. Pag inatake ka, mamamatay ka. Hindi siya natuwa, ako ang natuwa. O, ganun yun. Pero hindi ko kinatutuwa yung mamatay ang kapwa, ayoko nun. So in short, mindset iha, mindset. Ayusin mo. Ang very first thing, when you tackle a problem, you do not tackle the problem right away. You tackle yourself first. Because everything starts and ends with you. Tanungin mo muna ang sarili mo. At kung okay ka naman, ayusin mo muna ang sarili mo. Because hindi mo matatakan yung problema kung ikaw mismo sa sarili mo ay may problema. So one thing at a time. At yung may problemang gano'n na hindi mapigil-pigil, sasabihin mong lima-lima, sabay-sabay, may sakit yun, maniwala ka sa akin, psychologically sick. Hindi kinaaway yun, kinaawaan yun. He needs a psychologist and a psychiatrist or a counselor. Okay?
Okay, very nice insights, Dr. Castañeda. And thank you, Ma'am Felix, for that question. Do you have another one? From Leonida Serrano. Do you encourage people to go into business now in this time of pandemic? where everything is so unpredictable?
Why not, Iha? Why not? Sabi ko nga sa'yo, yung doktor na kaibigan ko, naisip niya, malaki nga lang investment niya. Pero siyempre, on that level, kasi doktor siya eh. Yung level niya, yun. O isipin mong pumasok sa negosyo, nagbukas ng... Kasi yung negosyo has to be relative and relevant. Kung relevant siya sa present situation, go ahead. But if you already have a business, the battle now is survival. Kailangan makasurvive ka. Kasi matatapos din yan. Pag natapos yan, nakasurvive ka, on ka na naman. But at this point in time, ano ang relevant? So yun ang business na gawin mo. So kagaya ng iba, biglang nag-pandemic, walang makalabas. Anong ginawa? Nagnegosyo, anong ginawa? Nag-delivery. O, yung isa naman ang ginawa, nagluto, ipinost online. Wala siyang magawa eh. Sasabihin mo ba, tama ba yun? May pandemic? Wala nga makapagluto, wala nga makabili kahit ano dahil nagsara, nag-lockdown. So di, kumita siya, umikot ang pera niya. So, do what is necessary and what is relevant. And also, when you determine your market, determine the need and the want. Kasi, iba yung kailangan, iba yung gusto. Yung gusto, bawa, gusto ko itong kwintas na to. Kailangan mo ba yan? Hindi. O, itong pagkain na to, gusto ko, kailangan ba yan? Siyempre, kakain ako eh. O, pero, yun yung need and want at the same time. So, you have to determine. Kaya, analyzing mo. Ikaw din ang makakasagot ng tanong mo. Sa akin, guidance lang. Okay, next.
Okay, thank you, sir. Another one from Maria Elizabeth Yan. In the investment side, what now is the best investment that you could suggest? Thank you, sir.
Are you talking kasi when you say investment, it's either business or it's either really just investing. If you are to invest right now, let's say sa mga bangko, kasi kung isikip mo lang naman ang savings, ang liit ng tubo. If you are to invest right now, no, invest with itong mga government bonds kasi safe ka diyan. Huwag kang mag-i-invest sa mga security bonds, mga commercial papers kasi nga very unstable ang economy ngayon. Unless otherwise mag-i-invest ka sa sa Ayala, ganyan, yun ang bond mo, yun ang security mo. But still go on if you are you could go on time deposit and what do you call this, yung mga investment on government bonds. Kasi safe yan. Treasury bills, treasury bonds, okay yan. So minsan naghahangad tayo ng malaki, pero wala ka naman, ayaw mo namang i-invest sa negosyo, so gusto mo lang investment sa bangko, yung pinakamalaking interest pero safe. Huwag kang magagahaman sa malaking interest, lalo na yung sobra laki, matakot ka. Diyan nagkakaroon ng scam, yung mga malalaking interest. So, hinahinay lang. Next question.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Another one from Miss Victoria. Hi, sir. What are your thoughts po about online selling? I have bought 2 small online business, cosmetic packagings, corporation, and kids wear, sole proprietorship. Meron din po bigasan. Okay po ba yung ipautang?
Anong ibig mo sabihin ng okay po ba yun ipautang? Meaning you will grant yung mga pautang sa mga customers or ikaw ang uutang? Kasi ganito lang yan. Kung ikaw ang uutang, make sure yung uutangin mo sa negosyo mo talaga gagamitin. Because if you do not use it in business and you use it for personal matters, mauubos yun. Babayad ka interest, walang mangyayari sa iyo. But if you use it for business, okay, dapat calculated mo yan. May calculated risk. If you use it in business, alam mo hanggang saan siya kung paano mo siya mamumultiply. Ngayon, kung sinasabi mo naman ay magpapautang, depende yung papautang mo. Kung hindi mo naman kilala, kung papautang mo, buwang ka. Kung magpapautang ka, at let's say malalaking corporation naman yung kausap mo, magkontrata ka, kailangan written. Pero yung bigasan, hindi ka pwede magkontrata dyan. So talagang kilala mo dapat, no? Sukian yan sukian bigasan yan. So yung cosmetic packaging, alam mo mga babae, hindi nawawala yung kahit anong pampaganda, gusto nila. No? Gusto nila yan Lalo na yung pampaputi, maniwala ka, yan ang yung mga kojik-kojik na yan. Nako, ang Pilipino gusto-gustong pumuti. Ang mga itim naman ang mga puti naman gustong-gustong umitim. Baliktad nga eh. But anyway, sa tingin ko dito, ang pinaka-stable sa lahat dyan yung kids wear. Alam mo kung bakit? Saka yung bigas. Yung bigas kasi, hindi kakain ng tao. Yung kids wear, ano yan eh, walang luma. Hindi naluluma yan eh. Ang fashion ang style, pare-pareho. May ribbon, may raffles. At saka yung bata, hindi pwedeng hindi bibili ng gamit dahil lumalaki. Yun lang yun. No? In fact, even in the world, isa yan sa pinakamalaking demand. Kaya nga lang, nanggagaling ng China and Thailand ng karamihan. Kids wear. But you have to focus also. Kasi if you go on an international basis, may 4 na seasons yan. Autumn, winter, summer, spring. Okay, spring, summer. So iba-iba rin ang materials mo dyan. Medyo magastos. Pero yung kids wear, hindi naluluma yan. Hindi na out fashion yan. Kaya walang tapon. Tatago mo lang pagka medyo hindi na season. Ganun lang. Okay, thank you. Ano pa?
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Okay, from Sir Jesus Valencia Jr. Marami pong mga online business or bitcoins, etc. na nagpo-post ng quick gain o nadodoble raw agad ang kita. Paano po nalalaman kung ito ay legal at totoo?
Alam mo, iho, matakot ka dyan. Lalo na yung mga doble agad ang kita, doble din agad ang talo. Ganun yan eh. Kasi kung anong kita sa talo, remember that. Pag doble ang bigay, doble rin ang kabel. No? So, kung ako sa'yo, I don't entertain this kind of businesses. Mas pumunta ka na doon sa simple. Kasi yan, ang gusto ng iba dyan, madali ang kita, bigla ang laki. Ayun, biglaan din ang talo, biglaan din ang lugi. No? Because there are so many scams right now, believe me. And how do you know the scams? You do not really know unless you verify, unless you magbe-verify ka pa kung nasa abroad yan. Paano mo i-verify yan? So I would rather not. I would discourage you because there are so many scams nowadays. Start a business which is small but let it grow big. Ganun lang, mas maganda pa yun. At yung business na nakokontrol mo. Because business that is not within your control, chances are matatalo ka kasi pwede kang maloko.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Here's another one from Ma'am Rosaline Camacho. I've been seeing lots of invitation posts in FB from this so-called foreign exchange trading. Is it wise to try this?
No, because most of them are scam also. At saka pag foreign exchange, that is just like going into money market. Money market, if you are not there, ibig sabihin ka lang nakabantay ka, ay may lugi yan. Kasi biglang bumabagsak, biglang tumataas. So, if you are not well versed in this, don't go into it. Kasi ganun lang yun. You don't go into something that you do not understand. You must know it very well before you go into it. Mahirap yan. Tatalo ka riyan. Eh kung magpo-foreign exchange ka na rin lang, eh dito locally na lang, dami naman nagpapalit dito ng dollar.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. From Ma'am Melissa Binayas, is it a practical or wise decision in quitting your day job to start a business?
Depende yan, Iha, but I would rather say no. Why? Kasi your day job is established and also already stable. Unless otherwise you have a husband, no? Pero sa tingin ko sa'yo, mukhang ikaw ay miss pa, no? Kasi maganda ka naman, di ba? So, yung day job mo, that would sustain you. So, start the business small, isabay mo. So, habang lumalaki yung business, when it could warrant already for your day job, then that is the time to quit. Kasi should anything happen to your business, nag-quit ka na ng job mo, asa ka pupulutin? Wala ka ng trabaho, wala ka pang negosyo. Isa-isa lang, Iha. Huwag mong sabay-sabayin. So, do your business hand in hand with your day job, but do it slowly. Parang yung isa tumataas, pagka pwede na, sasaluhin ka na. Okay na yun. Pero kung may asawa ka, na may magandang trabaho, isa kumikita sa stable na kita at isa ang nagninegosyo, yung pa, baka sakali, okay yun. Okay. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. From Ma'am Arlene Esber, What is the difference between networking and pyramiding? Need ba talaga magkaroon ng downline? How secured is it?
Alam mo yung networking and pyramiding, the same principle yan, hindi ba lang ang pangalan. So, ang daming naloloko dyan. At saka yung pyramiding and networking, for example, you went into it, maganda lang yan sa una. Kasi, pag nakabenta ka, papasok sa iyo yun. Eh, how sure are you yung mga binentahan mo ay magbebenta rin? Kasi pyramiding nga and networking nga. So, kailangan gumalaw lahat. Pag may tumigil dyan somewhere along the line, tigil din ang negosyo mo. Kasi anything that stop there will stop your flow of cash. Kasi gano'n yan, point system yan eh. Ilan nabenta mo, yun ang papasok sa'yo. Ilan nabenta niya, papasok sa'yo. Nabenta niya, papasok sa'yo. Eh yung nabenta niya, hindi na nagbenta. Wala nang papasok sa'yo. O so paano ka na ngayon? Kaya pyramiding and networking normally do not succeed. Very rare na nag-ano. Kaya nga, doggy sprout yan eh. Kaya sila come and go, come and go. It's because of that, everybody must work in the pyramiding and networking. Unless otherwise, wala. It will stop and it will die a natural death.
Okay, here's another one, sir, from Ma'am Corazon Lainez. Mr. MC, pwede ba itanong sa kanya about sa Bitcoin? I think this was also discussed a while ago, but any idea po about Bitcoins?
Alam mo, the truth of the matter is that I don't go into this kasi mabilis ang lokohan diyan at saka ang bilis din ang talo diyan. Ngayon, kung hindi ka naman well versed on that, don't go into that. Don't go into that.
Okay, thank you, sir. Here's another one, sir, from Ma'am Jennifer Blasco. Sir, any advice po kung paano ang technique para yung nakatabing saving from the business or kita ay di nagagalaw o nagagastos din po? Thank you and God bless.
You know what I do, sabi ko nga sa inyo, meron akong passbooks. Yung passbook na yon, i-deposit ko doon as hindi man kailangan malaki eh. Alam mo, you start small, pag every payday hinuhulog, parang ka nagpaluwagan, you don't realize it, one day ang dami-dami na niya, laki-laki na niya. Pero dahil naka-passbook siya, hindi ka madaling pumunta ng bangko. So it will take time and effort para pumunta ka doon, tatamarin ka na. So parang forced savings ang lumalabas.
Do we have more questions? From Ma'am Eden Jokino. Is it wise to invest in the stock market now?
No. Because the market is very unstable. May COVID pa eh, hindi mo alam ang takbo. It is not good. It goes up and down. Parang roller coaster. Matatalo ka dyan. Bilis ang panalo, mabilis ang talo. Eh kung hindi ka nakaabang, biglang bumaksak, hindi ka nakabenta, talo ka. Don't go into that.
Okay, thank you, sir. Do we have more questions? Okay, I think that ends our forum. So thank you very much, Dr. Castañeda, for your brilliant sharing of ideas with regards to financial wellness. I'm pretty sure that the participants could not help but agree with what you said. No, you have a lot of quotable quotes. Your ideas are very practical, very straightforward, and of course, very inspiring. We have a lot of realizations and takeaways from you. So let's give a virtual round of applause to our dear speaker, Dr. Castañeda. Or
Maraming
better yet, a
salamat.
virtual kiss or hug for him.
Maraming salamat
Thank
po.
you.
It's my pleasure.
So at this point, may I call on one of the master teachers of Epifanio de los Santos Elementary School to give us her reflection. May I call on Mrs. Jocelyn C. De La Rosa. Ma'am Jo? Okay, so we will go back to Ma'am De La Rosa later because there's a technical problem. So at this point, may I call on now one of the master teachers from Juan Sumulong Elementary School, Ma'am Ivy Ortiz, for her reflection. Ma'am Ivy. Ma'am Ivy. Okay, while waiting for them, no, I know that we all learned a lot, no, from the talk of our dear speaker, and I hope that our learnings, our realizations, no, will lead us to a better life as we do our work as a teacher or as a businessman, maybe, or entrepreneur. So again, may I call on now Mom Ivy for the reflection.
I grew up in a poor family. My mom taught me to save money so that I can buy all I need or whatever I want and for emergency purposes. Lumaki akong nag-aalkansya. Hanggang ngayon, gawain ko pa rin po yun. From elementary to college, I learned to earn money sa pag-drawing, pag-painting, pag-lettering ng mga project ng mga kapwa ko estudyante and sa mga project din ng mga anak-anak ng mga kapitbahay namin. So all my life is centered on earning and saving money, but I admit I do not know about financial wellness. Yes, I want to be forever teacher, and yes, I want to be an investor. Through this DLAC, I learned that as a teacher, we should learn financial management, learn to plan, and learn to manage. As a teacher and as a business investor, always remember, be where your heart beats. Set your goal from short to long term. Find your niche. Quality before profit. Let us learn from Noah's Ark and leave a legacy. Thank you, Sir Obi or Dr. Obi, for sharing your knowledge and your secrets about financial wellness. Very, very inspiring po talaga. So inaamin ko, tanga talaga ako. Di na ako sa gwapo ng asawa ko. Pero sabi nga po nila, kung saan ka nakadapa, dun ka rin babangon. So, babangon ako, pero hindi ko naman po siya dudurugin. Babangon ako, kasama ko siyang babangon. So, according to Dr. Obi, everything starts and ends with you. So, what are we waiting for? Timer starts now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Ivy. Good luck sa inyong pagbangon, ika nga. Okay, so at this point, Ma'am Jo, I think is now ready to give her reflection. May I call back Ma'am Jo De La Rosa from EDSES.
Hello, good morning. Am I loud and clear now? Am I
Yes,
loud and
ma'am.
clear? Okay, so good morning, everyone. I came up with this reflection while listening closely to Sir Robert. Thank you, Sir Robert, for that very comprehensive discussion. It's very timely. While listening, I just dropped my financial wellness board, and here it is. Track income and expenses. Look for areas you can save. Establish an emergency fund. Start a budget. Know your goals. Calculate your net worth. Save money with intention. Of course, we have to pay off our debts. Review our retirement savings. Maybe I'll just cut the spending by 10%, and I can, and I will, and I am ready for financial wellness. Okay, hope you have yours too. Running this financial wellness board allows us to have a good overview of where you stand regarding your finance and making sure you make the appropriate changes to follow your goal. If we feel secure and rewarded, there is likely to be an increase, of course, in employee productivity in the workplace. Financial wellness is a choice. The choice is yours. Choose it every day. Discover your passion and let your passion leads you with the guidance and grace of our Lord. Thank you and God bless everyone.
Wow, thank you very much, Ma'am Jocelyn, for sharing your financial wellness board. So I hope this session made us smile today, which will be carried out until the next session next Saturday. Thank you very much for attending our engagement today. To our PSDSS, thank you very much. And to all the participants, have a wonderful weekend. Spread love, spread positivity, and let's work on our passion and our goal. Good day to all of us. See you next weekend. By the way, to our PSDSS, do you have any other announcement?
Sergio, let's check about the attendance. How are they going to receive it? Did you receive any message from Sir Eric?
Tapos sabi mo mamaya ito yung price natin.